Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Plenty of time here. It's Tatum. Robinson's up. Tatum maneuvering. They did it. They've won it. New York is going to.
Well, a thunderous Thursday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. We got a loaded show. As always, it's brought to you by playalberta.ca. No better place to get in the game than playalberta.ca, whether it's sports, lottery, or casino. And with the all-new app, you can bet on sports, spin the slots, or hit the tables, purchase lottery tickets, all in one app. And it's a daily grand on Thursday. $1,000 a day for the next 20 years, 7.3 mil. Get your tickets at playalberta.ca. We are coming to you live. It's game day at On the Rocks, Jasper Ave, and 118th Street. Stop in right now, of course, before the game. And get a great place to watch it. Hey, guess what? Oilers, very good when we do the show at On the Rocks. Very good. Well, they've been pretty good anywhere lately. Winners of 5 in a row. They'll look to make it 6 tonight. And it's Thursday, so whoo, baby. You get $5 Dos Equis. You got all sorts of drink specials during the show. Ooh, even 1800 coconut tequila, which we've actually tried on the show before. It's very good. So get your drinks, I should say, at On the Rocks. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440 is the text line. We'll get to your thoughts on that. Have some open line time a little bit later on in the show. The Oilers, of course, they're up 1-0. That's a rare opportunity to go up to Cobb in a series. Now, they have done it once in this generation of Oilers as they defeated Anaheim in the first 2 games back in 2017, ended up losing that series in 7, but this is a very different team. The Oilers, I think, are deeper. They're better. Obviously, that was 8 years ago. But this team hasn't necessarily made it easy on themselves, right? They got 5 consecutive wins, but they've had to come back in each one of those games, which is an NHL record. No team's ever done it, won 5 in a row coming from behind. Now, they did score first in one of those games, but then relinquished the lead. It was 3-2 before they stormed back to win game 3 against the LA Kings, reeled off 4 in a row against Kings, went into Vegas. And after being down 1-0 the first 9 minutes, they were like, shut the door, we're done. How about this? Jack Eichel had 2 shots on goal. Both were in the first 2 minutes of the game. Now, Mark Stone was credited with 2 shots on goal. One of them was the one that went in off his skate. He didn't have a shot on goal for the final one. So there's your 2 best forwards. They have a shot on goal in the last 51 minutes of the game. Oilers did a lot of things well. They blocked some shots. Now, on the other side, Bruce Cassidy was pretty clear in what he didn't like about his team. Mainly, he did not like their forecheck. Quote, I thought we were a little late at times, duplicated a few times, and the first goal, we were caught in between. And if you watch that one, we talked about it, right? You have a Klingberg, and their forwards backed off, and Klingberg was like, all right, 2 strides, hits Draisaitl at center, 2 passes later, it's in the back of the net. And it was 2-1. He said that the Oilers are going to make plays, and if you don't play through them, and that's what we did. They bombed it up ice because we weren't on time or our sticks were not in the right place to break up some of those plays. We have to have better sticks against a team that regroups with a lot of speed. So take away time and space or get over people and have good sticks. It has to be both, said the Vegas head coach. So, Vegas is going to want to play better. And, of course, hey, that's what they say. Now, can they make those adjustments? Are they quick enough to get in on the forecheck? Will we see them do what the Oilers did against the LA Kings, where they had a lot of chip in place, especially after game 2? Right? Edmonton, I thought, did a very good job of putting pucks into certain areas and forcing LA's defense to go back and get it, and they paid the price. And now Edmonton's defense, I think, when you look at Gavrikov and Anderson and Doughty and Joel Edmondson, I don't think collectively those 4 move the puck. Well, they don't skate as well, first of all. They don't skate like Nurse or Kulak or Wallman. So they're not going to get back to pucks as quick. And I don't think they pass as well as the older guys. Like, there's no Bouchard there. Oh, Clark's a pretty good young offensive defenseman, but he's not Evan Bouchard. So I'm fascinated to see how Vegas is going to forecheck tonight. So, they're going to try harder to do it. They're going to want to pressure Klingberg, Bouchard, and etc. because those guys, man, they crushed Vegas. How many times did they make one pass that caught 2 or 3 Vegas forwards deep? And then Edmonton was able to exit the zone and really enter Vegas' zone more aptly, unattended and rather quick, I would say. NHL playoffs last night, Toronto victorious, so they're up 2-0. Dallas, Mikko Rantanen, are you kidding me? Oh man, he is just pounding teams. He's been in on the last 12 goals for the Dallas Stars, an NHL record. He had tied the previous record of 9 heading into the game and then said, I'll be better. Scored a natural hat trick in the second period. Think about it. He has 2 hat tricks in the last 3 periods of play because he had a hat trick in the third period of game 7, didn't get any points in period 1, and then had a hat trick in game 2. Period 2. That's pretty impressive. He obviously leads the NHL in scoring now with 15 points. He has 11 points in his last 3 games. Last 3 games. Man, he is on fire right now for Dallas, and they're up 1-0 in that series. Washington, like Vegas, at home tonight will try to even up their series at 1 game apiece. Carolina, kind of like the Oilers, they dominated game 1 as the road team. So you would think there'll be better performances tonight, but all you have to do is look at the association. So in NBA history, teams who have won 60 games have never been down 0-2 in a series until this year, and both second-round series in the East. Cleveland's down 2-0, Boston's down 2-0. That's amazing. It's like those 60-win teams, and they lose both games at home. The Knicks, credit them. That was huge last night. What a defensive effort with 12. What was it? Well, they had the ball with 12 seconds left, and great block, and the Knicks throw it out. And could we roll back the clock and have the Knicks and the Pacers? Reggie Miller, one of the greatest end-of-game playoff performances, probably the greatest in NBA history. That'd be unreal. And think about it, Oilers fans. If they're turning back the clock to the 90s, you might take it. Because in the 90s, I think the Oilers won a Stanley Cup. So dare to dream. Dare to dream. But, man, I love the NHL playoffs, but the NBA playoffs, no shortage of excitement. Last night, OKC with authority says, hey, don't sleep on us. We're not going away. 149-6, Connor Halley. Did you see that ass kicking last night? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who should win the MVP in the NBA this year, best Canadian player in the NBA, going to be probably the best player in the NBA this year. Man, his team absolutely obliterated Denver last night. I was watching that game, and it was just like, oh my goodness, this is a butt kicking of epic proportions.
87-56 at halftime, 45-21 after the first quarter, Gregor. I think the OKC Thunder had a little bit of a revenge mindset going to this one, the way they did. And I was just like going through the stats here. When SGA was on the court, plus 51. I mean, he's obviously elevating his game, played 30 minutes the most amongst the Thunder players. And I think that's how it has to be. Like, he's got to obviously be the team's best player. And he backed it up. And that was one heck of a performance by the Thunder and a statement, I would think.
Well, dude, every bench guy played at least 8:29, right? So you win that game and your starters barely had to play. Like Gilgeous-Alexander sit down in the third quarter. Like the thing was, they won the game 149-106, and Denver outscored them by 5 points in the fourth quarter because none of their starters were playing. Like, think about that. They were up after 3 quarters. Well, first of all, it was 87-56 at half. So they're spanking them. And then they had the lead. What was that? What did I say? 87-56. So they're up 31 points. Then they outscored them by 17 in the third quarter. They're up 48 points after 3 quarters, dude. 3 quarters. Oh, man, because a lot of people after game one were like, oh, geez, Denver's going to give them a run. I think when OKC plays their game, they're really hard to beat. And defensively, they're good. And they got speed. They got way more depth than Denver has. Now, Denver and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jokic and him, they could probably even each other out. But after that, I just think there's too much depth for OKC. And I'll be honest, I'm rooting for them, man. I'd love to see them win. They've never won. They got Shai. They got Dort. I love Dort as a defensive player. So they're my team that I'm not a fan of per se, that I become a fan of the last few years. I love watching them. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, seen him live before, man. He's just so smooth player, and you really enjoy watching him. Love it. Also, we talked about it yesterday. The WHL draft. They had round 1 yesterday. They had round 2 today, and hey, it's the Bantam draft. I don't go into it too much. I just always remind parents and kids. I could give you a list of so many good players who were never drafted in the WHL draft. Do not fret about it. If your son wants to be disappointed for 5 minutes, let him be disappointed and then move on. I can give you the list of so many players. Jerome McGinley. We go down the list of guys who weren't drafted in the WHL draft because they weren't ready. Or teams, you're drafting 14-year-olds, some who just turned 15. Like, come on. It's a crapshoot. Let's be honest. So I wouldn't fret about it too much. But if you're looking for fun storylines, Brock Lesnar, WWE fame, his son was drafted by the Medicine Hat Tigers. Now, his son's 5'11", 167 pounds. When you look at dad, you're thinking, probably a decent chance he might grow. And 5'11" at 14 is not a bad size. But, man, I was looking at some of the kids. Like, there was a kid drafted in the second round who was 6'6" at 14, Connor. Like, they're like, I don't know, and I've never seen him play. I'd just be curious, like, how fluid could you be at 6'6"? You're just so large and gangly. It would be hard. But, man, the guy fills out. It'd be a force. So, congrats to all those who got drafted and those who didn't. Honestly, I wouldn't fret about it. You could be disappointed. It's okay to be disappointed for a short term, and then move on. That's how I would do it. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Greggs, what's your thoughts on not one single gloves down fight in the playoffs so far from the burglar? Yeah, it's a little surprising. Usually we see a few tilts. I like fights when there's a reason. And obviously players on either side have felt like there's not a reason yet to do it. So I don't have a problem with it. We'll have fighting again in the National Hockey League. I'll be honest, I don't mind a good tilt. None whatsoever. Add some energy to the game sometimes. Sometimes you settle a score, whatever the reason is. But it is a little surprising that there hasn't been one yet, but it's still pretty early. Lots of games to be played, and it heightens up. Now I know, as you go deeper, some guys are less likely to fight, but hey, we've seen some pretty epic fights in the Stanley Cup Finals. None maybe more memorable than Jerome McGinley and Vinny LeCavalier, two superstars going at it. That was an unreal tilt, by the way. Two great players, too. Love both of them. Hey, Greg, do you think Pietrangelo is going to play? From Frank, yeah, I do. He took the morning skate, and Cassidy ruled out Dorofeev, which we said on the show. Dorofiev's Ken Bulkey joined us and said like he thinks maybe later on in this round, but didn't expect it in the first 2 games, and he was bang on. Pietrangelo, he was on the ice this morning, and the coach said, "Oh, I'll make a decision later." To me, that's gamesmanship. He's going to play. I was watching some video of their morning skate today, and he was not looking like a guy who was holding back. So I would expect him in the lineup. Vegas, though, expects some different line combinations. They're going to go back to kind of what they've used all year long, and we saw it in game 1. Later on, Barbashev was back with Eichel and Stone. You have Hurdle, Sod, and Olofsson, Carlson, Howden, and Smith. Solid third line. And then Nick Roy with Kolazar and Pearson. Haig, Pietrangelo, McNabb, Theodore, Hannafin, Whitecloud. Keep in mind, their defense, it's kind of like Edmonton's right now. They rotate them around. They switch it up. They don't just have set pairs that run. The Oilers are basically playing 5 defensemen right now. In this 5-game winning streak, Ty Emberson has averaged 8 minutes and 15 seconds of ice time. And I really think in the offseason, Ty Emberson's going to work on getting back for puck retrievals quicker and moving the puck quicker. Because you look at how little he's played in the playoffs this year, and he's like last game, for instance, he played 4 minutes and 40 seconds at 5-on-5. When you had Brett Kulak playing 18 minutes, Nurse playing 19, Emberson still got hit 4 times in 4.5 minutes. Kulak got hit 4 times the whole game. Nurse 3. Bouchard, and these are guys who have the puck more than Emberson. So young guy, but when I look at, something he'll have to move. In the regular season, he led all NHL players in hits taken per 60 at 11.79. And he's not a guy who plays a ton of minutes, right? Like he's not a guy who's moving the puck and, well, he is moving and I guess getting hit, but he's just not moving it quick enough. Because there's lots of other guys who move the puck and they don't get hit nearly as much as him. So, there's probably a reason why, you're not playing him as many minutes. They like him on the penalty kill. There's not as much physical play in the penalty kill, but they need him to move the puck quicker. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Hey, Gregor, I know Rannon's on a heater, but his last 2 hat tricks include an empty net goal, an own goal put in by the other team. Some lucky bounces. No, G. No, are you going to – really? Are you the same guy who's saying Connor Brown's on a heater? Like, what are we doing? Why are we trying to pick – the guy has been on 12 consecutive goals for his team. No one in NHL history has ever done that for more than 9. And now you're going to try to nitpick? Come on, dude. Come on, be better. Oh, he's on a heater, but nothing. He's ripping it up. We don't have to always find a negative when a guy's playing great. Come on. No reason for it. Hey, guys, Klingberg's been an awesome revelation for the Oilers. But the return of playoff Bouchard is what could push his team all the way to the cup. He has played 60 playoff games and already has 67 points. It's a 91-point pace over the regular season. He's been producing points at that pace of a superstar for the last 3 years. I did this simple math 4 times to make sure I was right. He didn't have some brutal defensive lapses, but as soon as game 83 starts, he cuts down his mistakes and the majority of the time increases his compete level. He's only 25 and is just entering his prime. His defensive reads will only get better, and he's already proven he's a big playoff performer. He's an elite offensive defenseman. Trading away elite players is a recipe for disaster. Just ask Avalanche fans how they're feeling right now. Bouchard's going to get paid, and if he keeps his level of player production, he's worth every penny. From Eric, well, yeah, I don't. Hey, man, I said it all along. Evan Bouchard was going to get paid, and especially if he produced in the playoffs again, and so far he is. Now, game 1 of the playoffs, he had a few mistakes, and that's fine. The whole team stunk. But I wrote the article today about Bouchard, and the only defenseman in NHL playoff history to reach 50 assists in fewer games than Bouchard, he did it in 60, was Bobby Orr, and he did it in 59 games. It's pretty elite company. And I know you could say, yeah, but it's Ekholm. Has Ekholm played this year? It can't always be but. Evan Bouchard, I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to frustrate you at times in the regular season. But if you get frustrated about a bad play, that's fair. But you have to have the equal level of excitement when he makes great plays. And you'd realize that you'd have more excitement than you would frustration because he makes more great plays than he does soft plays. It's just how it is, man. He's been really good for the Edmonton Oilers as of late, and he's a big key to their teams. Playing a lot of minutes, he moves the puck well, and I agree. Playoff Bouchard, it's actually 3 years. If you go back to even 2023, Evan Bouchard's a guy who I know he's described as, well, he's always calm, which he is, but he can elevate his game in the postseason. There's no doubt in my mind, and he's going to get paid, and people will be frustrated. I think some people will be like, maybe I'm going to tone it down because he's got a track record of being good, and he does make more good plays than bad. He'll make some plays that make you shake your head in the regular season. You're better off just letting it go. Just say, hey, that's Bouchard does. It's part of his game, but he does a lot of good things. Coming up on the show today, we got a loaded show. Mike Kelly from NHL Network and Sports Logic will join us. We'll have Jesse Granger, David Owens from Sherbrooke Liquor will be by. Fernando Pisani. We'll hear from Speck, Jeff Merrick, 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. We'll hear from Knobloch, a few other members of the Edmonton Oilers, as well as it's the playoff edition of the Jason Gregor Show live at On the Rocks, Jasper Ave, and 118th Street, your place to watch the game. Tonight, we'll return on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Kevin Carius, Low Tide, Jason Gregor. They are all ready for the Cup Run. Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey, including our pre- and post-game show with Andrew Walker. Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need, all powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Centre's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Here at Cooperators, we can help you invest in a way that's right for you. Like the starting to invest later has to be better than never plan. Talk to us today about how we can turn the investing goals you've made into investing realities.
Looking for a local Cooperators representative? Give Camrose Insurance Financial Solutions a call at 780-672-9251 and see the difference a personalized plan makes. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 EEE. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.224, welcome back. It is Thirsty Thursday today on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, coming to you live at OTR, Jasper Ave, and 118th Street, your place to watch the game tonight. And the Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Maybe you're nervous. You're just like, oh, geez, I want to pass the time. Well, maybe you should crunch your numbers at PlayAlberta.ca. Get in on the daily grand where you could win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. $7.3 million at PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Female Super League, which of course is designed to elevate female youth hockey. The FSL will provide a platform for U12, U14, and starting next year, U16 girls to develop and improve their skills. Learn more at femalesuperleague.com as we are joined by Mike Kelly from the NHL Network and Sports Logic. Mike, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Hey, I'm excellent, man. It's playoff time. Now, I've had a lot of texts and, a lot of people wondering, heck, even the Oilers themselves, where do they rank? Because I know, Mike, at Sports Logic, you track a lot of stuff. Do the Oilers, where are they ranked in offensive zone possession time 5-on-5?
Right in front of me, but I can tell you they're top 5 in the playoffs just overall. So, and that's, as you know, kind of like a hallmark of what they do. They're a pretty good team at possessing the puck, both overall and at 5-on-5 in the offensive zone. So it's not entirely shocking.
No, it's not. I guess what's shocking is they're shocked, the fans, because they don't draw any penalties, right? Like they've drawn the fewest penalties in the NHL, despite winning 5 in a row. Now, maybe it's because they're playing from behind. I don't know. Or having offensive zone possession time. When you remember to the regular season, do most of the teams who are up there in offensive zone time, does it automatically correlate to more penalties drawn?
Not sure. It's a good question. I mean, you can understand the logic to that, right? Where if you're pressuring the other team when you've got the puck more often, especially in the offensive zone, you should draw more penalties. I think McDavid, especially, I mean, this argument's been beaten to death, but he should probably draw more penalties than he does. And there's times where I think, I wonder if he's moving so fast at times that things just get missed, which isn't his fault. But I've definitely seen plays where McDavid, I thought you should be drawing a penalty, and it's a little bit of a trip or a little bit of a tug, and it isn't called. So, we'll see. I just did look up, by the way, 5-on-5, and the 2 top teams in the playoffs this year, zone possession are Vegas and then Edmonton.
Oh, Vegas and that. Well, Vegas didn't have much of it in game 1. So that was, they were probably 1 going in. So the top 2 teams in possession time. And Bruce Cassidy talked, he didn't like his team's forecheck. And how much of that was them not forechecking, but how much do you think it was Edmonton's quick puck movement out of the zone that it didn't allow them to really ever sustain a good forecheck?
They both go hand in hand, and I think you absolutely nailed it. Because when I was watching the game and then going back and watching some different clips of the game later on, Edmonton did do a really good job of getting back on pucks, and whether it's a quick outlet pass or evading a forechecker, they did do a really good job of getting the puck clean out of their zone. And every goal they scored in that game started in the D zone, right? Like the first one was literally evading a forechecker. Second one was in a controlled breakout. I think the Brown one started with a puck battle or a block shot, and then he got sprung. I think the third one was a puck battle win. So all of it started there. And, for the Oilers, that's something that Vegas does well. They're a good forechecking team. It's one of the reasons why they do kind of pile up zone time the way that they do. So that, to me, coming out of that game was, one of the things that the Oilers, where it stood out for them was they did do a really good job in that area. And I'm sure that Bruce Cassidy will want his guys being a little bit more effective there, not only just to create more chances for them, but also like when you let Edmonton, as everyone listening to this knows, when you let them start building up speed out of their own end, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Well, especially now, I believe the Oilers have the best depth they've ever had. They have a great combination of speed, size, skill, smarts in their bottom three lines, right? And it allows them to play McDavid and Draisaitl together, which is obviously a significant advantage. Jack Eichel. So when Vegas and Edmonton are number one in offensive zone possession time, does that automatically mean, Mike, that they got to be near the top then in time spent in the least amount of time in the defensive zone? Is that usually how it works?
Yeah, it usually goes kind of hand in hand with that. If you look at Edmonton during these playoffs, so just the amount of time spending defending while the other team has the puck on their stick in your end, Edmonton is fifth. Vegas is kind of more middle of the package. I think just a little bit below average. But the two, more often than not, will kind of go hand in hand, and that's where Eichel and McDavid, they're two of the best in the world at having the puck in the O-zone, because they've got the transition ability to get it in there. But then once the puck's on their stick, like McDavid is so fast and shifty and almost impossible to take it from. And Eichel's a little different, where he kind of gets that wide stance going. He can kind of glide around and protect the puck really well. But those are the two guys, both of them averaging 1 minute and 26 seconds a game of offensive zone puck possession, that are number 1 and 2 in the playoffs.
It's crazy when you say that number. 1 minute 26. That's all the time the guys have on their stick, when they have the puck on their stick. Now, I know that sometimes, you can make great plays in 2 seconds, right? So it still adds up to a lot of plays over time. And that's just in the offensive zone. And, obviously if you throw in McDavid when it's come through the neutral zone, I'm sure it adds up to a little bit more time, but it illustrates just kind of how quick guys got to react. And, we think, oh, this guy's going to have the puck a lot, but really in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much time. And those are the best guys doing it.
No. Yeah, no, exactly. Like it's something I've talked to players at development camps about, or I'll talk to younger players about if I'm speaking to them. Is the best players in the world have, when they're on the ice, they don't have the puck for probably about 90% of the time they're out there, and those are the best in the world. That's Quinn Hughes, that's Cale Makar, that's Connor McDavid. So what are you doing in that 90%? Because most people really just focus on that 10%. And that's a separator that can take you from being a below average player to an average or better, from a good player to a great player. You see young guys even come into the league that are really skilled, and sometimes it takes them years to try to figure that part out and really get good at it. So it's when I first got into this kind of work about 10 years ago, it was one of the first things that jumped out at me was just, if you actually look at the puck on your stick and how much time a player has, or even a team has it in the game, it's a lot more that you don't. So either you're trying to get open because the teammates got it or do something productive, or you're trying to win it back.
Mike Kelly from NHL Network and Sports Logic joins us here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Mike, when you crunched all the numbers of the Oilers in game one, like anybody, if we watched the game, it was pretty clear Vegas only had Eichel and Stone didn't have a shot on goal in the final 50 minutes of the game. Vegas had 5-on-5 in the final 40 minutes, only had 3 shots on goal. And I think they had 6 in the last 50 minutes. Like Edmonton did an unbelievable job of shots on goal. Now there were some blocks in there, but I saw Ken Bulkey, like Vegas had like franchise lows in shot attempts and getting shots through.
Mm-hmm.
Edmonton did a fantastic job in that game. Is it repeatable? And did Vegas show you any trends of that? Because I know you mentioned their possession numbers against Minnesota, but were there trends that Vegas maybe isn't the dominant team that we kind of expect them to be?
Well, just like starting with that one game alone, Edmonton, so you mentioned the low shots. They gave up 2 shots from the inner slot to Vegas, 2 in all strengths in that game. That's incredible. So that to me jumped out right away, which is just like you're keeping them out of the high danger scoring areas. That's where half the goals in the league get scored year over year. The Oilers, more looks off the rush. You talk about the forecheck not being very effective for Vegas. They only had a couple chances because of their forecheck. So that, you get behind 2-0 in a game. You start chasing for offense, and man, Edmonton can do this obviously as well as anyone. They've won 5 games in a row coming from behind. Ideally, you don't want to have to do that, but I think if Edmonton takes a lead into the third period, Vegas probably has more shots and attempts and all the rest of it, right? If they have to score a couple of goals to try to get back into a game. So it can be a little different that way. But overall, the Oilers should be thrilled with how they played that game to come back in Vegas from down 2 goals. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Edmonton, you would maybe know this better than me because you are in the market and you watch every game all throughout the year. But when I was kind of going through the year, looking at all the numbers and watching the games I could and all that, Edmonton to me was really good defensively towards the start of the year. And then they kind of got away from that and were a lot leakier, giving up more chances. And it was one of the things I wondered about them coming into these playoffs, is which I know that team can be really good defensively, but you don't have Ekholm, and what's that going to look like? I think all things considered, they've been pretty good.
Oh, well, you know what? Edmonton, Mike, the biggest thing that their problem is, you said how, the other team, they're top 5 in time spent defending. Because the Oilers, where they screw up is when they make an error, it's like, oh, here's a gift right in the middle of the net, the slot, in 2 seconds it's in the net. And you're just like, oh my God, that's where they kill themselves. And I don't know if you have a stat on 5-star giveaways, but if you did, I would be going to playalberta.ca and I'd be taking the over all day that Edmonton was at the top of or near the top in the NHL, because that's what kills them, is big giveaways that lead to great scoring chances. And once they eliminate that, which they've done really for the most part here in this 5-game winning streak, then they're a pretty good defensive team and they don't need a goalie to save their bacon very often.
Yeah, well, excellent point. And that was one of the things that the Kings did pretty well in that series, is they did score off turnover chances against. You talk about the numbers looking at the playoffs this year. You can break it down 10 seconds from the time you turned it over, or 5 seconds from the time you turned it over. But if you look at goals against within 10 seconds of a turnover, Edmonton scored 7 of them. They've given up 10. So the Kings kind of won that battle in the first round. Vegas uncharacteristically has given up a lot of these too in these playoffs. Minnesota did a really good job of just kind of working their butts off and earning the chances they got. And then you can take it a step farther, which is, you talk about, our turnovers worse, right? Because they're not all created equal. How many are leading to quality chances? How many are leading to goals? What's the goal probability of these turnovers? And this is where, Evan Bouchard is kind of a lightning rod. If you're someone who doesn't love his game, you're going to point to the fact that, well, his turnovers look really bad. And he has 3 turnovers that have ended up in the back of the net. The only guy with more in the playoffs is Lane Hudson, who had 4. And these are, you're also scoring at a rate that no one's seen since Bobby Orr. So you kind of take the good with the bad, right? And I'm in the camp firmly of the good is a heck of a lot better than the bad when it comes to that guy.
Oh, I always tell people that if you can get equally upset about the bad giveaways and then equally excited about the good ones, you'd end up being more excited, because he makes more really good plays that lead to goals than he does bad ones. And it's right. When he does have a giveaway, it's a direct goal. So I get the psyche and the human, oh my God, but sometimes he'll make a 70-foot tape-to-tape pass that springs a guy. It's a 2-on-1 but they think of the goal scorer and they're like, yeah, but that wasn't a really good play. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There's not many guys who can consistently hit a guy on the tape in motion, 70, 80, 100 feet up, 200, 120 feet up the ice sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you bring up a great point about his game. I mean, you'd say Evan Bouchard, probably 2 things come to mind. Bouch bomb and turnover maybe. When really his passing ability is right up there. It is really, really good. And that's a good point you bring up. Outlet passes, stretch passes, he's really, really good in that area. So yeah, look, no one's perfect. Can you try to make improvements? Of course, always. But man, a lot of other teams had to take him. I can tell you that much.
Oh yeah, no. I wholeheartedly agree with you. One last one, Mike. When you look, I know it's early in all these series. Any other trends that you've noticed in that Florida-Toronto series, or maybe Game 1, Washington-Carolina? Obviously, Carolina crushed them on the forecheck. Or even that Dallas-Winnipeg series that you say, hey, this team's going to really have to change this if they want to come back in the series.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'll be pretty quick with all three if you like. Washington needs to start moving their legs. I mean, my goodness, they got absolutely crushed in terms of zone time and shot attempts and all the rest of it. And a lot of it came from the fact that Carolina would throw a puck at the net from far away, but they'd get the rebound, and then they'd throw another one, and then they'd win a battle, and then they'd get a zone face-off, and it just on and on and on. So that's, I think, going to be Washington's biggest focus going into this game tonight is we got to start winning some of these pucks that they're throwing at the net. For Dallas and Winnipeg, I thought Hellebuck played a really good game. Like, he's got to be good for them to have a chance in that series. And Winnipeg was right there. They can be better, but Rantanen stole the show again. And, you know, one of the things that's been really interesting is how Pete DeBoer is deploying them. He's sneaking them out with the fourth line, and they're getting goals because of it. And Scott O'Neill talked about it after the game last night. Like, he knows, but just, again, great coaching by DeBoer. And then the Florida-Toronto, look, Bobrovsky's got to be better. These are two close games that could have gone either way, either time. And Bobrovsky's making one less save each time, and he's better than that. And I give the Leafs a lot of credit. Like, I have not been one over the years that has ever bought into the conversation of them being like a real cup contender. I just didn't think they had what it takes to win in the playoffs. And this team looks scary good. And I think there's a path in the Eastern Conference now this year with, if they can get past Florida, Carolina or Washington, they could beat one of those teams. Now all of a sudden you're in a Stanley Cup final, which isn't really crazy because two teams get there every year, except we're talking about a team that hasn't been there since 1967. Yeah. So there's a path for them.
Well, so Mike, I'm just going to say, Mike Kelly said today that Toronto and Edmonton are going to make to the Stanley Cup Finals. Is that what I heard?
I'd love that. Are you kidding me? Like,
oh God,
now we get our Stanley Cup in Canada.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Point.
That would guarantee it. That's for sure. So,
McDavid against Matthews, all the story. Oh my goodness, it'd be good.
Yeah. Well, that's a pretty one-sided story, though, for being honest. McDavid versus Matthews right now. So,
yes, it is.
Yeah, it very much so is. Mike, great stuff, man. As always, we appreciate it. Enjoy the playoffs. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, good catching up with you, pal. Take care.
I betcha. There's Mike Kelly from NHL Network. Hey, what do you think of those numbers? We'll crunch those numbers, and we got something for you. Get you in the good mood for tonight's game next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat. It's all legacy, qual legacy. We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah, well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Time on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. This is Andrew Walker, and join us for the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Cross Mitsubishi on 34th Ave and 96th Street.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos, construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
Fire bans and restrictions are now in effect for parts of Alberta where wildfire danger is very high or extreme. Because of dry and windy conditions, wood-burning fires may not be permitted on public or private lands. Visit albertafirebans.ca for more information about bans or restrictions in your area. That's albertafirebans.ca. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Nibbling on sponge cake. Watch it.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Game day continues on live at On the Rocks, Jasper Ave, 118th Street. Your place to watch the game. Get in, of course. It's Thursday, so after the game, hockey fans, this is where love begins. Salsa night is every Thursday, and after hockey, I'm telling you, woo, baby, the dance floor is packed. So you'll have a lot of fun, Jasper Ave and 118th Street. It's time for Thirsty Thursday, as always, brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. 2 locations, the OG on St. Albert Trail and 118th Ave, and on Southside 92nd Avenue and 50th Street. David Owens joins us once again, our resident expert from Sherbrooke, fresh back from a work/play trip over to Europe, because I know you always mix in. What, and you see any good work-related places?
There's lots of great work-related places I found in Europe. And I got to tell you, they know how to do it right there. The food is fantastic. You talk about, food and how much crap is in their food here. It's clean, it's easy. Bread, meat, cheese, your wine. Life's good.
Life's good. So today, because Dave says, hey guys, it's game day, but it's during the week. Got to pace yourself. So we have all non-alcoholics, and we're going to go through. So if you like a Negroni, if you like mojitos, if you like a margarita, We're going to test it out to see if these pass the test. So what are we going with first?
Yeah, so these are exactly perfect drinks to either pace yourself with, as we talked about our striping before, or all night. We got cocktails. So this is a phony Negroni from St. Agristis. It's a non-alcoholic. So a Negroni, of course, is typically gin and vermouth and Campari. It's a bitter Italian beverage. It's spectacular. One of my favorite drinks out there.
Whew. Non-alcoholic. And it's funny, like there's no bite that you would get from alcohol, but there's still it's weird. I don't even know how to explain it, that I know it's non-alcoholic, but it totally tastes alcoholic.
It maintains that bitterness that you get through the Campari. Yeah. And Campari is the big part that really stands out when you're having a Negroni, I think. And so it really maintains that. And so, if you put this side by side with a full, proper Negroni, it'd be hard pressed to tell which one it is. And both colors perfect, on point.
Yes.
Flavors on point.
Well, that's the thing. Honestly, if someone came into my house and I poured them on and I said, "Hey, I've got this Negroni for you," people would drink it not even knowing that it's non-alcoholic.
Not even knowing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The non-alcoholic beverages have improved so much over the years, because I remember, like, when they first came out, I'm like, I'm not drinking this. Like, I might as well just have a water because I can't even drink it. Yeah. This has some flavor to it. I'm like, well, now I know why I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're gonna move on to a mojito. So this is Ish Mojito. These things are fantastic. Also, mojito is a rum-based beverage. Many of us and your listeners have probably been to Cuba once or twice. Had a little mojito.
See, I'm not a huge mojito guy because I don't not the lime. What is the
What's the mint?
The mint. Yeah. So this one isn't overly minty. It doesn't have like a real mint flavor to it. It's very subtle underneath mint.
Very subtle underneath. And the thing that stands out for me with this is that it tastes like there's rum in there. It's got that round sweetness.
Like, honestly, I wish it wouldn't have told me before. Oh, hey, we'll just try these. And oh, by the way, they're all non-alcoholic. I'm like, what? Because it tastes like rum. It just doesn't have the mint taste that sometimes in a mojito is a little bit overpowering.
Sometimes overpowering. Yeah, really well balanced with this mojito. And
would you recommend putting mint if you really like mint? Could you just put a mint leaf in it?
Absolutely. Garnish it as well. Do the same thing you normally would with anything. With a Negroni, put a little orange slice or something like that in there, or a little grapefruit peel. If that's what your jam is, mint into the mojito for sure.
Grapefruit in Negroni.
Yeah, a little grapefruit peel.
Really?
Yeah, just the peel.
Okay.
Adds a little extra bitterness to it.
I've had grapefruit in my gin and tonics lately.
Oh, yes.
And I quite like that.
Excellent.
So a grapefruit and a Negroni.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I could try that. I love grapefruit though. I love it.
So now we're on to this. This is a new product here. This is that we're getting. It's called Parch. And they have got botanicals and adaptogens in here.
Okay, but what is it supposed to be?
So this is supposed to be a desert margarita. And the whole idea between adaptogens these days, of course, is like ashwagandha, ginseng, things like that. So it's supposed to mimic the euphoria that you might get out of proper alcohol.
Wow. This one, I'm going to say, out of the three, this is definitely my favorite.
And again, just a nice, sort of a citrusy style margarita.
It's got a little bit of like a citrus aftertaste that comes after that, which of course is
almost a bit of pineapple I'm getting too. That's coming through.
Oh, that's a good call, actually. Yeah. So you have a little bit more of a refined palate than I do.
Well,
once you say pineapple, then I can taste it. But maybe it's because I wasn't smelling with my nose open. Things we've learned. If you're just joining us, we learned that when you drink, you're supposed to inhale, but have your mouth open while you take a sniff. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Now I taste the pineapple.
Pineapple in there.
Really? See, that was a rookie move. I totally forgot. I got to teach myself every week here.
Oh,
so I do like that one the best, though. That one for sure. So that,
for sure.
That was the Parch Agave cocktail. Desert Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that one I would highly recommend for people. Strongly recommend that one.
Yeah, it's a top-notch beverage. They got a couple of different drinks and style margaritas. So this is one of them. So our last but not least, a total Alberta favorite, the whiskey cola.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can definitely taste it smells like Coke.
And you get that nose with it too, the whiskey coming through that, almost a smokiness, a little bit of vanilla that you might get off of, whiskey from being a barrel.
Like that tastes genuinely like a rye Coke.
It tastes
like it's
a rye.
Weird, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of, you could do taste tests, I think, at house parties with people. And then some guys are like, oh, yeah, I know what it is. And I think, that's Canadian Club. You'd be like, actually, no.
Actually.
There's no alcohol in it.
Yeah. Full on.
Yeah, like that. Because anybody who drinks rye and Coke, you'll know, like, Coke obviously on its own has a pretty obvious taste.
Yes.
And when you mix it, like, the combination is pretty obvious. Anybody who's ever had one.
Yeah.
This tastes ridiculously like a rye and
Coke.
Like, the 4, I still like the margarita the best just for flavor. But this one tastes the most like a pure alcoholic drink.
Yep.
For me.
Yeah, it just blows my mind just how good these non-alcoholic beverages are getting all the time.
And this one comes pre-mixed for any of our audience, right? It just comes in the can. You don't have to
do anything. Comes in the can.
It's Gregor.
Perfect.
I like to say Gregor proof, idiot proof for
Yeah.
those ones. So
easy to go. And again, like if you want to put this one as well, put a lime wedge or lemon wedge, if that's how you like your whiskey colas. Same thing with that last margarita. Put a lime wedge on it. Salt the rim. Make it like you normally would a regular cocktail at home, but just out of the can.
Now, have you seen the growth of the non-alcoholic industry? Right? Like, it's growing significantly. And people like the flavors because, what do you call it? Striping. So you could have one of these, and then if you really want to have an alcoholic drink, well, then you can have one. Then you can have another one of these, and it feels like you had 3 beverages, but you can drive home because you only had one with alcohol.
That's right. Yeah, it's the way to go these days. Especially weekday game night. Whew.
Well, it's Thursday. It's David.
It's not
A young David would be like, "Hey, buddy, Thursday. Hey, Thursday's the Friday." Up until I think the age of maybe 30, depends. Maybe some can stretch it to 35. Thursday is definitely like a weekend, and I would say even guess what, Oiler fans. I see you're wearing your Oiler jersey.
Yeah.
Oiler fans of any age, tonight's like a weekend night
for sure. Yeah, I definitely recall. We go back. A couple of funny story with the 06 playoffs. My wife's here today. My first child was almost named Fernando.
Oh, really?
Because
he's actually on the show later.
That's what I heard. That I'm excited about that. So we almost had going to that third period of that game 7. We were down 2-0. I was like, whoever scores next, if we win this hockey game, I'm going to name my first child that. And so Fernando scores.
Was your wife on board with this?
Well, not necessarily,
Yeah.
but it would have been a middle name at least. My daughter would have loved being named Fernando.
Okay.
But so there for the rest of the game, I have my poor wife sitting there going, no, please, somebody else scores. Somebody else score.
I don't want Fernando.
It was great. Back those days, it would definitely,
When was your daughter born?
She was born. She was born the next spring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, but it was a great playoff run for sure. So many memories from that one, and that was 1 beer in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third. Who know what happened after that? those crazy beers.
Well, back then there was no non-alcoholic ones. Well, unless you wanted water and punch at your house. But nowadays, for those of you out there that you want to limit your alcohol intake, but you still like to we've talked about it before, the psychology of you go to a house party or even to yourself, you're just like, God, I'm stressed. I'm watching the game. I just need something. I need something in my hand. And so if you don't want to drink, you can go to Sherbrooke and get the non-alcoholic ones. I highly recommend the Parch. Well, they're all really good, the Parch, but that whiskey cola, if you're you used to drink rye and Coke, the whiskey cola one would be top notch. Because I wonder, for people who stopped drinking, would this taste make them want to drink? I'd be like, well, this would cure the because I'd get the same taste without the actual alcohol.
Yeah, the science behind that, I'm not so sure. I think really it's just getting that, having something there in your hand, having something that's that makes you feel like, because so much of it is a social thing, and it's a social thing that you're totally unaware of, and you just need to have that thing in your hand. Well, this is a way to do it, make you look like you're fitting in. I mean, you look at this Negroni.
Yeah, the phony Negroni.
It's
and it looks very classy too.
Very classy.
Anybody out there, you want to fake it till you make it. Just get the phony Negroni, and you just you're gonna look at bare minimum, you'll look classy.
At bare minimum, you'll look classy.
Right? So it's kind of like red green. Hey, if they don't find you handsome, at least they'll find you handy. Right?
That's right.
So maybe they'll find you classy. That's awesome, Dave. Great stuff, man. I appreciate it. Stop in at Sherbrooke Liquor. They got a huge location, and again, you got the phony Negroni.
The Ish Mojito. Yeah, the Parch Desert Margarita, and the HP Juniper Whiskey and Cola.
Oh, the Juniper.
Well, there's no Juniper in it. That's just the name of the company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But we're going to dig into next week. We're going to go full on gin.
Gins.
It's gonna be gin week
Ooh,
right before
we'll
the
be in
long
studio
weekend.
next Thursday. So hey, I like. I'm big into gins right now. I like to call it the gin sonic, half soda, half tonic.
Ooh, nice. Yeah,
Right?
that's the way to go.
Right. So
Yeah.
it is. It's very tasty, and there's lots of really good gins. Some great Alberta gins.
Some
too.
amazing Alberta
Ooh.
gin. So we're going to do a little bit of a mix of stuff from around the planet and just sort of see how versatile gin is.
Okay, I like it. Look forward to it.
Perfect.
Thanks, David. Enjoy the game. What's your prediction? What's happening tonight?
Oh, I got to go with the Oil tonight. You
got it now. You got a Corey Perry jersey on, eh?
Got a Corey Perry jersey on.
Oh, all right.
And I
I
gotta
love
tell
the
you,
old man right now.
I love the old man right now. He has done nothing but deliver for us. And the last time the Oilers won a Stanley Cup, what year was it?
2006. Oh no, sorry, 1990.
1990.
And you got a 90. Oh, so you're connecting the dots.
Connecting the dots, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
You know what? I'm actually surprised. Well, maybe someone has connected that one online, but Perry wearing 90, being 90, and he had 19 goals. And he's got 3 more in the playoffs. Guy's doing something right.
Guy's doing something right.
There you go, Dave. Good
Right
stuff,
on.
man.
Great. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
You betcha. That's David Owens from Sherbrooke Liquor. That is Thirsty Thursday. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month continues on now. Get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on any 2025 Sierra HD models. Learn more at gmccanada.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game day, Oilers, Golden Knights, game 2 from Sin City gets going just after 7:30. First, the Oilers lead that series 1-0. Our pregame coverage with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson. Also, former Oilers captain Ethan Morrow gets going at 6, following the Jason Gregor Show. At 5 o'clock, you got the Caps and Kings meeting in Washington. Carolina leads that series 1-0. Joe Quenneville has been hired by the Anaheim Ducks as their next head coach. Quenneville had been out of the NHL since 2021 after resigning as Florida Panthers head coach following the fallout from the investigation into the Chicago Blackhawks. In the association, 1 game tonight, the Timberwolves look to even up their series with the Warriors at 6:30. Steph Curry will not play in this one. Major League Baseball, the Jays are wrapping up a series against the Angels. That gets going at 7:30. Game 1 of a doubleheader between the Rockies and the Tigers. Right now, Tigers beating up on Colorado 10-1 in the top of the 8th. Earlier today, it was the Orioles falling to the Twins 5-2. Red Sox playing the Rangers 5-0. And the Royals also playing the White Sox 10-0. PWHL. Playoffs getting going for the Charge and Montreal. That gets going at 5 o'clock. From the CFL, the Edmonton Elks have signed wide receiver Pierce Jackson. Jackson joins the Green and Gold after 4 seasons at the University of Georgia, where he got 78 passes for just over 1,100 yards, 4 touchdowns in 51 games. He also won 2 national championships. And the Carolina Panthers are moving on from 3-time Pro Bowl edge rusher to Davian Clowney after just 1 season. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Jesse Granger, Golden Knights reporter, and hear another edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
In Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Mr. Rooter hits the gym.
As a new Mr. Rooter plumber, you get access to our company gym.
Nice. Where's the equipment?
Over here, we have a variety of tight pickle jars. Open those up to work out your pipe wrenching muscles. We've got your standard weighted plungers, and over here, a pipe wrench.
Why is that guy forcing his body into a suitcase?
How are you? And
Plumber
welcome
must be able to fit under any sink.
to the Jason
For a
Gregor Show on
plumber who
Sports
always
14.
works out.
Sports Hall. Sports.
Mr. Rooter.
Sports.
My utility bills are going through the
Sports
roof. How can I
1440,
take advantage of the sun and put my lazy wrist
sports1440.ca,
to work?
Oilers Nation YouTube. Tonight, we'll return to the Gregor.
Energy Team reporting. When you're ready to make your home or business more efficient,
Thirsty
Action
Thursday
Electrical
today,
has
the
the
Gregor
power
Show.
to install solar panel systems and EV chargers.
Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta with supercharged
Yes,
skills and
Team
strong
Street
family
likes to
values.
watch the game.
Action
Get in, of course.
Blue Jays baseball is back on Sports 1440. This Saturday and Sunday, listen live to the broadcast of Canada's favorite team. proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball. We are Sports 1440.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next
Playoffs.
level.
Doing something right.
Doing
something.
Oh, Dave, good
Right
stuff,
on.
man.
Great. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
They're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
The Bricks tent sale is on now. With so many items to clear out, they've had to set up tents in the parking lot. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store. With new specials every day and a bonus gift with furniture purchases over $999, these offers won't last long. Save up to 50% off select mattresses, up to 25% off of bedroom and dining furniture, and the more you buy, the more you save, up to an extra $1,000 off appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Want an easy way to protect your lifestyle and your loved ones? With Mortgage Guard from Cooperators, you can secure your mortgage through a chosen mix of life insurance and optional critical illness and disability benefits. Plus, unlike some other policies, your coverage amount stays the same despite your decreasing mortgage balance, and your beneficiary can use the proceeds any way they want. That's a lot of protection, all in one convenient plan. Contact Camrose Insurance Financial Solutions for more. Mortgage Guard is a registered trademark of and underwritten by Cooperators Life Insurance Company. Please refer to your policy for applicable coverage limitations and exclusions. Individual circumstances may vary.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com. I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's after 3 o'clock. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And hope you are having a lovely day as we get, what are we, just 4.5 hours away from puck drop tonight. The Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. No lineup changes for the Edmonton Oilers. The Golden Knights, well, it's not confirmed. It looks pretty likely that Alex Pietrangelo is going to get into lineup tonight for Vegas. He missed game one due to an illness, is what they said. Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. It is Thursday, the Daily Grand, your chance to win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years, which equal to $7.3 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Coming up this hour, Jesse Granger is going to join us from Vegas. We'll probably get confirmation from JG on Pietrangelo. We got 2-minute warning from Tater. Another chance to qualify for Here Comes the Sun, a $15,000 turnkey solar system for your home, or a gift for someone. We got Fernando Pisani coming up in the 420. Mark Spector, Jeff Merrick on a very busy Thursday afternoon. We are going to get to the head coach, Chris Knobloch, as well coming up in a second. We got a few texts flying in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys are throwing around numbers for Bouchard north of 10, and he's no Makar. If he wants more than Makar, I hope we let him walk. Well, you have to understand that comes from Darren. Cale Makar signed that contract 3 years ago, right? The cap is going up significantly. So that's a big difference. Also, if you look at how many years Cale Makar of free agency he gave up at that time, that factors in. I think he gave up 1, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2. So there's that as a key. You know, you have to look at what other D-men, like if Bouchard gets 10 million, if you look at today's, defensemen and what they're getting paid, and you look at, Rasmus Dahlin, for instance, you're going to say Bouchard at 10 mil, I'll take it. Right? I'll take it. I don't have a problem. So I don't think you can just look at Cale Makar and say, wow, that'd be like saying anybody who got more than Leon Draisaitl because he made 8.5 despite being underpaid. Well, that's not how it's going to work. So I don't see that. Hey, guys, I would have traded Bouchard in the regular season, but then this guy shows up. You don't trade this version from Mighty Cobra. Well, yeah, it's fair. And like I said, Bouchard, and not that the regular season doesn't matter, because it does, right? Home ice advantage can help you. Doesn't guarantee you, but it can help you. And lots of other things. And Bouchard, he didn't have an awful year. He was still 4th amongst NHL defensemen in points. He just did have a few more noticeable errors. But again, if you look around the league at guys, Makar, Hughes, you don't watch all their games. They still do make mistakes. Maybe not as glaring as Bouchard had in the regular season at times. And really, what do you have? 2 in game 1 against LA? He's been really good since. I don't have much issue with him since. Hey, Gregor, I just wanted to thank you for emceeing the Little Warriors Be Brave Ranch luncheon yesterday. I'd like to encourage your listeners to donate to their program. If anyone's looking for the donated dollars to truly make a difference in people's lives, there's no better route than donate your hard-earned money to them. Well done for continuing to be involved in worthwhile causes. Cheers to you in Sports 1440 from Delta Valley. Jeff. Well, Jeff, thanks for that. We appreciate it. I'm telling you, Martin and Miranda Smith, their story about their young daughter. I'm sure some of you knew the story. You saw it in the news when their daughter was 13 and she got kidnapped by that predator from the United States. They found her, thankfully, a week later. Unfortunately, she'd had lots of trauma, sexually abused, many other things, physically abused, slapped across the face, lots of things videoed. It was awful, awful stuff that you would never even think about. And thankfully, he got just actually last month, got convicted and sentenced to 50 yees in jail. So it means he'll never get out. He's 43 years of age. I don't even want to mention his name because it's not worth even giving him the time of day. But, man, the Smiths were so courageous in their story. And then Neil talked about his story. He 9 years old when, he got molested, awful stuff. And just, Be Brave Ranch, how it helps kids, because it is a big problem still in our society. And you're right, Jeff, it's a wonderful facility, really the only one of its kind in Canada, maybe in the world, for what they're doing. And it is something that, Edmontonians should be proud of. And if you're ever looking, to help out, they're always looking for help there. So you can check out Little Warriors and the Be Brave Ranch. Hey, guys, Gregor, it's crap. I mean, really, we want to play that much for a playoff defenseman. He's really been doing amazing things, but does he do it all year? Too much money for a playoff defenseman. Needs to show it all year, from Darcy. Well, like I said, Darcy, he was 4th in scoring. So he did do it pretty well for a defenseman in the regular season. You can't say he didn't. He was 4th. And people thought he had a, quote, down year, and he was still 4th. So I can't say it's nothing, right? Hey, Gregor, Dahlin's better than Bouchard. He's on a bad team. No, he isn't. Okay. He's better than Evan Bouchard. Really? And I know a lot of people like this. Hey, guys, anybody can score when you play with McDavid and Draisaitl. Well, I know that gets mentioned a lot. Okay, so let's look at, let's just simplify it, and let's just look at the last 2 playoffs, because a lot of the same guys who play the same amount of minutes in Edmonton. So let's look at the last 2 playoff years just here for the Edmonton Oilers. And by the way, last year Draisaitl and McDavid didn't play together all the time. McDavid has 55 points, Draisaitl has 43, Bouchard has 41. Then you go down to Hyman and Nugent Hopkins. And so they're 13 points, and they're forwards. So, and then look at the regular season, right? The numbers don't jive. Hey, like you look at the regular season the last 2 years, Bouchard's got, and Nugent Hopkins plays with those guys. Bouchard has 149 points. Nugent has 116. Hyman has 121. I don't know if you can really say that it's just because he plays with them. Dahlin doesn't shoot the puck like Bouchard. He just doesn't. So I'm not going to buy that Dahlin's Evan Bouchard. And guess what? Hey, guys, he's better all-around defenseman. See, that when people say all-around, did you look at Dahlin's numbers? Have you watched Evan Bouchard in the playoffs? Is Bouchard getting beat defensively? Just yes or no answer. Has Bouchard got... Now, does he turn the puck over? Sure. Has he been beaten defensively? Look at his numbers. He hasn't been. And when people revert to the, well, he's better all around, it's because some of those numbers aren't quantitative. Well, and even if you look at Bouchard's numbers, that isn't actually necessarily true. He's got pretty good numbers. So, and hey, he's probably not going to get paid Dahlin numbers. Great, because Dahlin's in Buffalo. They had to pay him big money. So if you think Dahlin's better and Bouchard doesn't get paid as much as him, then you should be happy. Shouldn't you? Hey, guys, is there any comparable to Bouchard in the 80s? Like you take points and sacrifice the bad defense? Again, it's not bad defense with Evan Bouchard. More so, he will make some passes with the puck that make you go, Right? When was the last time you saw Bouchard really get walked? When was the last time you saw Bouchard make a real glaring error, rushes out of position? Sometimes maybe you want some people wanted to back check a little bit harder. Okay, guys, 8 feet in front of him on a breakaway, you'd like him to get within 4 feet. Okay, still not probably going to catch him. Like, you're not going to make up that ground, right, on NHL players. But honestly, look at Bouchard. It's when he'll make an errant pass. The 2 goals against LA, right? I think we've seen it. That's fair. But I'd also ask you to go look. What did Cale Makar do in the playoffs this year? What did he do? Look at his numbers. Go look them up yourselves and then get back to me. Guys will have bad stretches. And Cale Makar is more dynamic. But you look at some of Cale Makar's numbers overall, and he played with McKinnon and Rantanen for a lot of time, if you want to say the McDavid-Draisaitl factor. So I get that people want to hate on Bouchard, but I always try to say, okay, now let's compare him overall to other people. And I'm telling you, the other guys make mistakes. You just don't see them as much because you don't watch it all the time, right? Hey, Gregor, are the Bouchard haters the same ones who are valuing Klingberg's puck-moving ability? Well, I don't know. Klingberg's puck-moving ability is pretty damn good. I don't know if you could do I don't think you'd be criticizing Bouchard and applauding that. That would seem odd to me. Maybe I misread, or maybe there was like a typo in there. But, John Klingberg, hey, he's done really well for the Oilers in the playoffs, as is Bouchard. All you got to do is look at the minutes. Like, you might not like Bouchard, but Paul Coffey really does. Why else would he play him 26 minutes a night in the playoffs without Matthias Ekholm? So, let's get to Oil Report now, brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton, as the May Day event continues on now. It's the final month where you can save huge money at XC90 plug-in hybrid for at least for 1.49% and save an additional $5,000 at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Mr. Knobloch was asked, how much does he look into what could be changed or added to the Knights lineup heading into tonight?
I think before the series or before every game, you have some ideas of what they might do, possibilities of lines. And then when you have an idea of maybe what the lines are going to be, you think about maybe the matchups and if they're going to be rolling them or having a certain line against, usually it's our top line. And then for us, we just have to, you don't want to be changing things up too much because we played a pretty good game the other night and you don't want to take away that rhythm, the flow, and how everyone's feeling. So I think it's more of getting ready for, if we don't get off to a good start, what's my plan B? And hopefully as a coach, you never want to hit that plan B.
So with that in mind about the plan B, and his team is playing well right now, how they've played, does that afford him a longer leash and maybe more patience as a coach in game?
Yeah, it's a balance on what's going to work out, who's playing well, what the other team did, and what other lines are playing well. So it's a feel and just trying to make the best decisions at that moment. And I don't think there's we got to do this at this point at 10 minutes. If it's not going well, we have to switch. There's a lot of factors.
Also caught up with Leon Draisaitl, and he was asked just about, the team is playing right now and how much of it does he attribute to just veterans who know how to play in the playoffs?
Well, I think, we had a lot of injuries, starting the playoffs, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time for everyone to find their spot and find their legs a little bit. And I think we've obviously getting to a point where guys are starting to feel healthy and feeling good. And that being said, I think we played some really great hockey during the regular season as well. So we know how to play the right way. We know how to win hockey games. Again, it's just a matter of doing it, more consistent than all the other teams.
And I was asked about his head coach and just his ability and how he adjusts in game.
Yeah, he pushes the right buttons, seemingly. We do have an experienced group in here that knows how to play the right way and knows what it takes to win hockey games this time of year. So that part helps a lot, of course. But Nobber has obviously done a great job of, sending the right messages at the right time.
And lastly, the Oilers' last game, a lot of their success came from Vegas didn't really get to forecheck. And how much of that was due to Edmonton's ability to move the puck out so quickly?
Again, I think it's five guys, sticking to their details and doing the right thing in those moments. Our D did a great job moving the puck. Our forwards were back, tight support, and we broke the puck out really well, which led to obviously not a lot of time in our own end. And obviously, that's a goal again tonight.
Well, we'll see. Oilers, Bruce Cassidy was not happy about the way his team forechecked. They didn't like their forecheck. They didn't like their stick placement. Feels that they got to be a lot better on the small details. So we'll see if that happens tonight. Quick break. When we come back, we'll go to Vegas. Jesse Granger will join us and break down Vegas, what they need to do to get back in the series. And Alex Pietrangelo, is he going to play? We'll find out next. Jason Gregor Show live and on the rocks. Jasper Haven, 118th Street, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Grant Fedoruk here from Leading Edge Physiotherapy. Now, some people live with problems they don't have to because they might not know that we're here, the things we can do, and the issues we can help. Problems less talked about, like incontinence, vertigo, Bell's palsy, and lymphedema, or even things people live with every day, like shoulder, neck, and low back pain. So while a lot of people already know we have the people, tools, and technology to help you head to toe, I'm going to keep at this, because if just one more person gets the care they need, then every penny we spend sharing what and who we can treat is worth it. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
April showers brought huge deals to Wolf GMC Buick. It's truck month all of May, and we froze our prices on in-stock inventory to save you money. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on some of our most popular Sierra pickups, or select up to $8,000 off on these amazing trucks. If you're in need of an SUV, good news, we have a great selection of Buicks and GMCs. Plus, Costco members may be eligible for an additional $1,200 discount. What are you waiting for? Spring into Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup.
And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhock beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhock, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Will Hockey game day with Will Hock beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Sherbrooke is a house of curiosities, a mom and pop, a curated experience that is equal parts wine tastings and 2 forests for May long. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely day. Down here at OTR, if you haven't tried the Clubhouse Jerk Chicken, highly, highly recommended. So good. If you're coming to the game tonight, need a little pregame meal, that's the one to have. Now, let's go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And today, Mick Happy Day. Today is the day. You've been waiting. You know what? You're like, hey, you know what? What am I going to get? You tell your wife, I'm stopping in. We're getting McDonald's because guess what? We are helping out Ronald McDonald House today. You get your kid's favorite meal. Get yourself. Who doesn't like a good cheeseburger? Maybe a Big Mac, the Big Arch, maybe a milkshake. Oh, a pie. A lot of options. And today's the day to do it because it is McHappy Day. And portions of every purchase goes to support the Ronald McDonald House, which is a fantastic facility. It's one where you hope you never have to use it, because if you're using it, that means that you got a really sick kid. And I think tell me, if you could take, I will go to McHappy Day, and you know what? I'll spend $100 worth. You'll do it all day long to avoid ever having to use Ronald McDonald House. Not because it's great, because of why you're there. So check it out, McHappy Day at McDonald's. Let's go to Vegas. Goaltender, analyst, of course, also beat reporter for the Vegas Golden Knights, Jesse Granger, joins us. Jesse, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, Bruce Cassidy didn't pull any punches. He didn't like his team's forecheck. And, you know, they were the best team in the regular season scoring off the rush. They did score 1 goal off the rush. Unfortunately, they gave up 4 for them, but they didn't really generate much time in the offensive zone. And them in the Oilers, we just had Mike Kelly on in hour number 1, said, you know, in the playoffs, Edmonton and Vegas are 1 and 2, and Vegas barely had the puck in the zone in game 1. What didn't you see from their forecheck that you think will be better tonight?
Well, I think you have to start by giving some credit to the Oilers defenseman. I thought John Klingberg, that's one of the best games from a defenseman I've watched in the playoffs this year, in terms of going back, getting pucks, getting them quickly with speed, and moving them out of the zone before any of the forecheck can even establish itself. So I think that played a big part, and obviously Evan Bouchard did well also. But I think to me, what actually prevented the Golden Knights from getting their forecheck going was how much Edmonton possessed the puck, because it just seemed like, especially after the first 10 minutes of the game, the final 50 minutes, every time the Golden Knights finally got the puck back from Edmonton after defending, they were too tired to dump the puck and chase it in. They were just happy to flip it out and go get a change, and they flip it right back to the Oilers, and Edmonton goes on the attack again, and then you just kind of repeat that over and over and over. I didn't see many opportunities for Vegas to get it going. They didn't have the rhythm. They were playing from behind. They were playing on their heels most of the game, even though the scoreboard didn't say that. Obviously, the possession and the chances were heavily in Edmonton's favor. So I think that, first of all, we were talking to Bruce Cassidy this morning, and he said we've got to spend less time in our defensive zone. Now, that is a challenge because the way the Golden Knights defend, and it's been really effective for them for several years, is a compact zone defense that really takes away the center of the ice. But in order to do that, you have to kind of let teams possess the puck on the outside edges of the offensive zone. If they're along the walls, you're not going to challenge them aggressively because you just want to stay compact, keep those passing lanes closed. I don't know. Cassidy said he wants to see more pressure on them as they're entering the zone. So before they can get set up in the offensive zone, maybe right when you get across the blue line and try to cut back, he wants to see more plays killed in that area of the ice. That way they can get themselves going the other way, and they're not so exhausted from defending for so long that they can't even attempt really any offense of their own. So to me, it was just a combination of they didn't have many chances, and when they did, Klingberg was brilliant back there.
Oh, yeah. Klingberg was great. Bouchard, Nurse, all their D-men played quite well. Now, speaking of D-men, what's your hunch on Pietrangelo? You leaning more to him playing than not?
Yeah, you know what? It's a really weird situation because I've been watching playoff hockey my whole life, and unless a guy's missing a leg, he's playing in the playoffs. And it seems like this year we've seen more players on several teams missing games due to illness than I can ever remember in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So clearly it's a very serious injury. Very serious illness. These guys don't miss games for nothing in the playoffs. So he was on the ice today for morning skate. He looked himself. He was laughing. He was joking. He looked like normal Alex Pietrangelo out there. He's a full participant. That would lead you to believe that he should be a lock to play tonight. But the fact that he was a late scratch last game, not feeling well right before the game, because we talked to Caden Korzak, and he said maybe an hour's notice is what he got that he was going to be making his playoff debut in place of Pietrangelo. So it's tough to guess. I would say yes. Based on looking at him this morning, it looks like he's for sure ready to go. But Cassidy wouldn't commit to that following the skate. So we'll see.
And if he comes in, do you expect him to play mainly with Haig, or do they kind of I was looking at their minutes in the Minnesota series, and it seems they're a little bit like Edmonton, where they don't necessarily just have set pairs all the time. They kind of mix and match throughout the game.
Yep, that's exactly right. I would expect you to see Pietrangelo with both Hanifin and Haig at different points. It's really a style thing. Haig and Pietrangelo are their two kind of big-bodied, long, rangy defensemen that are good in front of the net. So when teams are beating them on the inside, and Minnesota, obviously with like Ryan Hartman and Marcus Foligno, they had guys that could do that, similar to Edmonton. If they're getting beat by that, I see Cassidy going to the Haig Pietrangelo pair and kind of deploying them and telling them to clean up that net front. If they're chasing the game, if they need goals, if they need offense, then he likes to play Hanifin and Pietrangelo together out there. They're two of the better offensive guys, and he likes to play them with the top line so they can try to get that transition offense like you were mentioning. It wasn't available for Vegas in the opening game, and that's an important part of this team's game. They're not as good at scoring with the sustained zone time. They're so much more dangerous on transition. So if they're really looking for that and searching for that, I would expect to see Pietrangelo and Hanifin together quite a bit.
They started the series with Carlson on that top line, and then midway through the game, because they weren't generating much, they put Barbashev back up there, which makes sense. That Barbashev, Eichel Stone line, they've been pretty good. Eichel's going to play versus McDavid and Draisaitl a lot. I would think they were. Although, do you think they might say, hey, we like I looked at that Howden, Carlson, Smith line.
Yep.
And say, hey, that's the line maybe they put against McDavid and Draisaitl and try to get Eichel out against other lines tonight?
Yeah, I think the second one. I mean, Eichel will play plenty against McDavid, but based on the changes Cassidy made, putting Carlson, Smith, and Howden, those are three very good skaters and 3 very smart, defensively responsible forwards. Howden is a center, Carlson is a center, and Smith is, he's been leaned on in the defensive role for basically his entire time in Vegas, even going back to the first stint. So that's a very defensive, responsible line that I could absolutely see Cassidy trying to steal some shifts with if they can defend the McDavid-Draisaitl line. Now, that's a tall task. That line didn't have much success defending Kirill Kaprizov in the first round and Boldy. So that was part of the reason they moved Carlson up with Eichel. So it's a tall task. It won't be easy for sure. But yes, I think the thinking is if we can get Carlson and Smith to neutralize or at least break even against that top line, then maybe it'll allow Eichel and Stone to really get going against someone else.
Jesse Granger joins us from Vegas. Oilers Golden Knights game 2 tonight. Pietrangelo might come in. That would be the only lineup change. Oilers don't expect any lineup changes for them. Vegas, that was the first time in 20 home games that they gave up a third period lead. And, like Edmonton scored a minute in. Draisaitl meant to do it, but it's still a lucky bounce off the pad and in, Jesse. And so you talked earlier about you got to give Edmonton credit, and I fully believe that they do. Now, in that, and it's only one game, but Vegas looks slow to me. So do you think it was more they played slow, or are they slower than Edmonton?
Well, they're for sure slower than Edmonton.
Okay.
Most teams are. I certainly don't think that, but they did play slower than they typically do. To me, when this team gets going north-south, like most teams, that's when they look fast. That's when they play fast. They don't have the fastest skaters, but because they've got such good puck movers on the blue line in Pietrangelo and Hanifin and Theodore, they can hit forwards with speed and really get them going through the neutral zone. That's why they're so good on the rush. Is if you turn the puck over against Vegas, it's in the back of your net before you blink, and they didn't get any of those opportunities because Edmonton was so good with the puck. So I expect Vegas to they don't like to back off and kind of defend their blue line. They like to pressure higher up the ice because they're looking for those turnovers. That's their best way of generating offense. So yes, I think Edmonton's going to look like the faster team most nights in this series because they are, but I do think Vegas has another level that they can hit in terms of the speed that they play with.
Vegas play better when the game, because I don't take any penalties. They're ultra disciplined. So maybe I know the answer to this, but do you find like when the game gets a little chippier, are they better usually?
Yes, and Cassidy's actually talked about that quite a bit over the last 3 days. The way he kind of phrases it is like when we get drug into the fight, it makes us better. This team doesn't typically initiate. I think they were like the Oilers were dead last in hits. Vegas was right there with them. Neither of these teams hit a ton in the regular season. Obviously, everybody hits more in the playoffs, but the Golden Knights don't typically like to initiate all the scrums and the post whistle stuff. But it does seem like it gets the best out of them. And we all remember last series, it seemed like when it kind of went off the rails with all of the extracurriculars and the animosity on the ice, it did seem like that was when Vegas kind of took control of that series. So that combined with the fact that Vegas's power play has been so good, I would imagine Edmonton wants this series at 5-on-5 as much as possible, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like when I think back to the series 2 years ago, it was if the games are at 5-on-5, Vegas has got a huge advantage, and Edmonton really needs the power plays in order to get the offense going. And it almost feels like the roles have completely reversed. And now Edmonton is the stronger team at 5-on-5, and Vegas is really hoping to get some power play opportunities to get their stuff going.
Does Vegas have a game plan to slow down Connor Brown?
Yeah, he was great. I do think that part of moving Carlson down is Vegas wants to play to the identity of rolling 4 lines. That's kind of been their identity for 8 years. They've always been a team that kind of spreads the wealth a little more evenly amongst the 4 lines and doesn't load up the top line. That wasn't the way they entered that game with Carlson, Stone, and Eichel all up there. So I think part of moving Carlson down is Cassidy just wants to be able to roll those 4 lines and get the depth players feeling a little better about themselves, feeling a little more engaged in the game. And that, I mean, Edmonton's depth was better in game 1. And if that continues, it's going to be a bad recipe for Vegas. So yeah, they've got to get their depth guys going and outplay like Edmonton's 3rd and 4th lines for sure.
Jesse, quickly, give me your thoughts. It's only one game, but Dallas and Winnipeg, because of course the winner of that series is going to face the winner of this series, and the Mikko Rantanen run that he's on right now.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, it seems like everything he throws at the net's going in right now, and obviously he's making some brilliant plays. He got a little fortunate on the one that went off the defender's stick and underneath Hellebuck last night. That's a fun series. And I will say, even in the loss, that's the best Connor Hellebuck has looked in the playoffs in 3 years.
Yeah.
He was reading the play. He was ahead of passes. It's just, he didn't look quite as panicked as he was in the first round. So if he can get going, Winnipeg can beat anyone. So yeah, I mean, that series is awesome. It's two superstars in Rantanen on one side and Hellebuck on the other. And whoever gets the better end of that is probably going to be on the winning side.
You also wrote, turning it back to Vegas for one final one, how, they got to get more pucks at Calvin Pickard. Calvin Pickard didn't have to be great in game one. And essentially it didn't even really have to be average. They didn't test him a whole bunch. What do you make, as I know you break down the goaltenders a lot, what do you make of Vegas and how they might try to attack Pickard tonight?
Yeah, it's actually crazy. That was, if you look at just the unblocked shot attempts, 22% of them were on net last night. And that is the lowest percent in the franchise history. We're talking 700 games. The Golden Knights have never shot less accurately than they did game one against Edmonton. So you've got to get that number up. To me, a goalie like Calvin Pickard, who he's such a battler. And that's why he's 5-0. I don't think the difference between him and Stuart Skinner is massive. I would even argue that maybe Skinner is a slightly more talented goalie and his structure is a little better. But Calvin Pickard is battling, he's competing, and he's making a couple big saves every night that the Oilers need him to make. And when you have a goalie like that, who to me isn't the most structured, he doesn't have the best stance, he finds himself out of position a little bit, he makes it work. If you throw enough pucks at that guy, you're going to get some bounces that go your way, and you're going to get some bad rebounds. So to me, if I'm Vegas, I'm not even looking at the corners of the net in this game. Shoot everything at Calvin Pickard, and if he has excellent rebound control and quiets his game and is awesome, well, take your hat off to him. But to me, I would throw everything I possibly can at him.
Jesse, thanks so much for this, man. Enjoy the game. We'll see you in Edmonton.
Yep, thanks for having me.
That's Jesse Granger joining us from Vegas, long-time beat report. Well, really, since Vegas has been in, right? Still, what's that? 18, 19, 20, 8 years. 8th year in the NHL. Vegas has had, they've had a lot of success. Tonight will be their 103rd playoff game. They've only been in the league 8 years. It's not bad. We'll come back. We got the 2-minute warning with Tater, and we'll get you set for Here Comes the Sun after 4 o'clock, and we'll hear more and get your thoughts on the Oilers. What are you thinking tonight? 833-401-1440. You can text us or call us 833-401-1440 in our UL inbox.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
For Selly hockey fans, your partner in power just skated onto the ice. EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365. UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking. Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service. Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project. Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats?
while I drop the heat.
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no principal payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep, unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
Cooperators can help make a retirement plan around your plans. Like the wait till that beach in Bali gets a load of 65-year-old me plan. Talk to us today about how to turn your retirement goals into retirement realities.
Looking for a local Cooperators representative? Give Camrose Insurance Financial Solutions a call at 780-672-9251 and see the difference a personalized plan makes. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Join the Stingers at their home opener Sunday, May 11th at 4 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Mr. 305, Flow Rider and Lunch Money, 3 Miami.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
Hat-tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, it's like a Cam Tate request song today. It might be. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. It is playoff game day number 2, round 2, Oilers, Vegas. Oilers have a chance of the rare 2-0 series lead for them. Last time it happened, 2017. Right, kind of in this core group, when they got into their playoff runs, they've lost game 1 most of the time. And, they beat the Kings in game 1, ended up winning that series in 5. They beat Dallas last year in game 1, ended up winning it in 6 games. So recent history, when they score and they win first, it's a good chance. Now, you have a huge opportunity tonight to go up 2-0 on Vegas. Could you just imagine the madhouse that would be Edmonton on a Saturday night, an hour earlier, 7 o'clock game, not the usual 8 o'clock, and the team's up 2-0? Man, downtown would absolutely be going nuts, I would think. So should be good. We'll see. Now let's get to the we are live and on the rocks, by the way. Jasper Ave 118th Street. You want to come by the game tonight? This is a place to watch it, baby. I have all sorts of great opportunities to watch the game. Big screen TVs all over. You get here for the early game. Washington, Carolina. Drink specials all night long. Food specials during the game. It's a fantastic place to be. Beers, wings, you name it. And try the Jerk Chicken Club. It's very good. Now let's go to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. They are hiring. You want to work for a fantastic company, great opportunity. You're going to get a hiring bonus Also, very competitive wage, RRSP matching, tuition reimbursement, and much, much more. Apply today. They're huge fans like you at legacyheating.ca. Here is Cam Tate.
I need to make one thing perfectly clear. I'm not going to sing. Got that there, Gregor? Ain't singing. I still remember singing Trinity United Church, West Side, Meadowlark Road. So there I was singing my dad's favorite hymn, How Great Thou Art. Dad whispered in my ear, God will still hear you if you just mouth the words. So I ain't singing, Connor Halley. But what if we took Bad Bad Leroy Brown, the iconic hit from Jim Croce, and used Connor Brown as the subject? It might sound like I ain't singing. Might sound like, well, the baddest guy in Vegas town was wearing blue and orange now. Bat the puck, then took it down. That's what he does, that Connor Brown. He skated like a getaway van with a hot stick and a scoring plan. Whacked that puck from mid-air flight, then zipped past Vegas left and right. Yeah, he's bad, bad. Connor Brown. No more doubts in Oilers Town. Busted knee? Well, not no more. Now he's buzzing, built to score. He tore that ACL last year. Doc said months. Brown said no fear. Now he's got that playoff look, a postseason competitor by the book. In Toronto, it started over veal, an Italian joint, a secret deal. McDavid twirled his post around, but said, come to town, we'll hunt the crown. They played as kids, they talked as pros, old friends with playoff dreams, and those are stronger than a garlic knot. So Brown said yes, and now he's hot. He used to ride with Austin M., but now he's skating like a gym. From Toronto to Ottawa's groove to D.C., where he barely moved, but in Edmonton, he's lit the fuse. Back checks makes front page news. Penalty kill. He's cool and mean, moves like coffee, strong and clean, 'cause he's bad, bad, Connor Brown. Faster than a Vegas clown on the rush or on the kill, he's a playoff highlight reel. He took that puck on Vegas ice, made the fourth goal pure and nice. Even Vegas fans went dang and then spilled their drinks at T-Mobile bang. He's bad, bad, Connor Brown, woke the crowd and shut it down. Oilers roll, and here's the sound. Playoff Brown has come to town. Told you I wouldn't sing. The 2-minute 2 warning with me, Tater. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Gregor Show, Sports 1440.
That's pretty impressive. I didn't even know. Tater's like, I don't want to tell you what it is. That was pretty. We might have to replay that. I know Connor Brown right now is he's become an absolute fan favorite. Hey, boys, that might have been Tater's best yet. Loved it from Farmer Scott, Colin and Rimby. Absolute gold. Greg's, please tell me you can play that later when my kids can hear it, just in the 5 o'clock hour, please. Well, you know what? Maybe like a song request. We can get it right into it. I think we'll have, we might have Declan put that one up on social media, just like the poem part right before the game. That I think Oilers fans might like that one, courtesy of Cam Tate. Pretty solid. He should have sung it though, eh, Cons? Might have been able to sing it. Who knows? He's a stand-up comedian. Maybe he can sing.
Request for next time, maybe.
Hey guys, does Cam pick different voices on purpose, or is he just looking for the one he likes? I like some more than others. Steve from Drumheller. You know, Steve, it's a good question. I'll have to ask Tater. I don't know how it works. So anybody like Cam obviously has cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair, and that's not Cam's voice, right? He uses some technology, and so he takes his words, puts it into it. So we've had different. Some have been good. Some Connor and I had to veto right away. But it's a good question. I don't know how he comes up. But like, does he have? Is it like he has just a selection of voices he can choose for different days? I don't know. I have no idea. Hey, Greg's, would you move Connor Brown up instead of Corey Perry with Draisaitl and McDavid? He's hot right now. But is he hotter than Corey Perry? Connor Brown has 2 goals on a goalie. Corey Perry has 3. Brown does have the 2 empty net goals. Great. The Oilers have won 5 in a row. I am not changing anything. The Corey Perry doesn't play every shift with McDavid or Draisaitl, nor should he. At his age and speed, you're not going to do it. But all I know is you get Corey Perry a good look around the net, he's bearing it. Like, I like Connor Brown and everything, and yeah, he's hot, right? But totally different player, right? He doesn't. Corey Perry, like Connor Brown, when he plays with McDavid and Draisaitl, he's not rushing the puck through the neutral zone. Those guys are. So, no, I want Connor Brown on a different line because now I've got speed on another line. So, I would definitely not be doing it. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We have Here Comes the Sun coming up after 4 o'clock. Your chance to qualify, get into the draw to win a $15,000 turnkey home solar system, courtesy of our good friends at Action Electrical. It's a $15,000. That's just for the install. That doesn't include all the money you're going to save for all the years you're going to have this house. It's unbelievable. So that's coming up after the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Planning a summer road trip? Make your first stop Fountain Tire. From tire checks to oil changes, alignment, and brake inspections. We'll make sure your vehicle is ready for every mile ahead. Find your nearest location at fountaintire.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game day, Oilers and Vegas Golden Knights down at T-Mobile Arena. Puck drop just after 7:30. Alex Pietrangelo expected to return to the lineup for Vegas. We've got pre-game coverage for you here on Sports 1440. Getting going after the Jason Gregor Show with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson at 5 o'clock tonight. The Caps will try to even up their series with the Canes in a game of peace down in Washington. Joel Quenneville has been hired as the new head coach of the Anaheim Ducks. He's been out of the NHL since 2021 after resigning from the spot as the Panthers head coach after the fallout from the investigation into the Chicago Blackhawks. In the association, the Warriors taking on the Timberwolves, leading 1-9 in their best of 7. Tip-off 6:30. Steph Curry will not play for Golden State in this one. Major League Baseball. Jay is taking on the Angels once again. This gets going at 7:38. No games going on right now. Earlier today, Tigers get past the Rockies 10-2 in game 1 of their doubleheader. Royals all over the White Sox 10-0. The Red Sox blank the Rangers 5-0. And Twins over the Orioles by a score of 5-2. CWHL playoff tonight, game 1, Ottawa up against Montreal. That gets going just after 5 o'clock. From the CFL, the Edmonton Elks sign wide receiver Kyrus Jackson. He joins the Green and Gold after 4 years with the Georgia Bulldogs, where he caught 78 passes for just over 1,100 yards in 51 games, winning 2 national championships. And the Carolina Panthers are moving on from 3-time Pro Bowl edge rusher Jadeveon Clowney after just 1 season. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions. We'll be joined by former Oiler Fernando Pisani, and it is your next chance to qualify for Here Comes the Sun. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slayer smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
When you see big discounts on a vehicle, you think last year's model, right? Not at St. Albert Dodge. They are continuing to knock 10% off the sticker price of every single 2025 Ram 1500 truck on the lot. We're talking this year's model. Motor Trend's Truck of the Year with a hot new interior and drivetrain options with increased horsepower and better fuel economy. The 2025 Ram 1500, 10% off and over 100 to choose from. That's how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Today is McHappy Day, when every menu item purchased at McDonald's helps support families with sick children. So you can feel the good that comes from doing good, just from ordering.
So if I order a Big Mac, I'm helping.
Yup.
What about a McFlurry? 10-piece chicken McNuggets and apple pie?
You got it. Every single order helps. Join us at McDonald's today for McHappy Day. Do good, feel good. A portion of food and beverage sales will support RMHC chapters and local children's charities across Canada.
Missioner Allen Auction's unreserved retirement dispersal auction for Double D Bobcat service at Cold Lake, Alberta is next Thursday at 9 a.m. Featuring over 650 auction lots, including deck trucks, gravel trucks, hydrovacs, tractors, pickups, and more. Info at maauctions.com.
O'Hanlon Paving is looking for finished skid steer operators, finished grader operators, Class 1 drivers, and more to join their Edmonton road crew team. Bring your positive attitude and great work ethic to their job fair, Friday, May 9th from 10 till 3. Visit o'hanlonpaving.com/careers.
Missioner Allen Auction's unreserved retirement dispersal auction for Double D Bobcat service at Cold Lake, Alberta is next Thursday at 9 a.m. Featuring over 650 auction lots, including end dumps, lowboys, gravel pups, goosenecks, jeeps, equipment trailers, and skid structures. Info at maauctions.com.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos Construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
Look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service, tag, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.401, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram on a lovely Thursday. It'll be a little bit better if we get some rain. There was some rain in the forecast. We sure need it, man. There's fire bans all over the place, and it's only May 8th. Please be wise out there with your cigarette butts, joints, anything that's flammable. I know that earlier this week, the firefighters in Edmonton were stretched incredibly thin. Going out to all different parts of it. So let's try to be as wise as we can and limit anything that's going to start a fire, because it is tinder dry out there and it'll spread incredibly fast. And hey, you all want to enjoy the playoff show. You know what? People have lost their farms and their homes here recently. It's no joke. So let's let everybody enjoy the games, and hopefully we reduce as much fire as we can. Now we're going to get to Here Comes the Sun in a second. Is the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, your one-stop shop. Casinos, games, live dealers, they got it all, and lotteries. And the Daily Grand today, $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. So today, I think we're going to do it very simple. You know how the routine is. You're going to text in the correct answer with your name to 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. We will do, because I think we have to, it's game day. It's playoff game day. I'm going to try to come up with a simple question, because we've talked about it lots on the show today. This era of Edmonton Oilers, Draisaitl McDavid, which started, I guess, in 2015-16. Only one time have they had a 2-0 lead in a series. Can you name the team the Oilers are up 2-0 in a series? I'll give you a hint. They played against Corey Perry. 833-401-1440. The only time the Oilers have had a 2-0 lead in a series in this generation of Oilers. Okay. Obviously, they made the playoffs in 6. That's not any of them. And then it was 2017 until now. So 833-401-1440. Good luck. I hope you get the correct answer. Then you'll be in the draw. You could win a $15,000 home solar system courtesy of actionelectrical.net. Now, there are a few stipulations. Number 1, you need to be a homeowner. Also, your home, or if you're going to gift it to someone, needs to be in Edmonton or a 50-kilometer radius, east, north, south, or west. And your shingles 12 years or newer. Because when you get this awesome system put on your home, if you got old shingles, then you got to replace them right away. It's going to cost you way more money. Okay? Plus, it works better. So, those are the stipulations. Now, you can keep it for yourself, or you could gift this. And what a gift it would be. It's a $15,000 turnkey solar system, but also it's all the money you're going to save every year. I didn't even say, even if it's only $100 a month, that's $1,200 a year. Let's just say minimum 10 years, which of course it's going to be way more than that. That's another $12,000. Like, it's a $30,000 prize pack. This is unreal. So hopefully you get the right answer. 833-401-1440. The Oilers' only series that they led 2-0 in this era of Oilers. So there you go. And we'll announce the winning contestant in a bit. We got lots more text to get to. This is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hey guys, all I'm hearing out of Vegas right now is excuses. Thought the Oilers just played well, and I think that means the Oilers have them. Maybe some people, but I thought Bruce Cassidy was pretty honest about his team. He goes, they outplayed us. They were the better team. We got to be better on the forecheck. And then he explained why. We got caught in the middle. And if you go back and watch the Oilers' first goal, so the puck comes to John Klingberg in the corner. And what do all Vegas 3 forwards do? They all retreat. That's when you're dead. Because now you're skating backwards 6 feet from the puck carrier. You can't stop his pass. Not in the NHL. You needed someone to go to him and pressure him, and they all retreated back. Klingberg's like, oh, thank you. 2 steps, bombs it out to center to Draisaitl. He enters the zone, back to McDavid, over to Perry, 2-1. And the rest, is history as the Oilers came all the way back to win. Hey, guys, do you see any situation where Jeff Skinner gets in? Yeah, an injury. There's an injury, Jeff Skinner will get in. There's no, tell me which forward you would take out of the lineup if they're healthy right now. None. And that's not a knock on Jeff Skinner. It's just that's how well all 12 forwards are playing. There's no reason to want to change it. None, zilch, zero. Greg's, what was the question again? I need that solar system. Very simple question today. Which team in this era of McDavid and Draisaitl, the only series the Oilers had a 2-0 lead in the series, which team were they playing? I gave the hint. It was against Corey Perry. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Text in with your name and the team. Some other news and notes around the NHL. Joe Quenneville is the head coach. So the coaching carousel has been spinning. It stopped once in Anaheim, and Joe Quenneville got off. So he is now with the Ducks. They interviewed 5 or 6 different guys. Jay Woodcroft got an interview there. Jay Woodcroft is interviewed in Vancouver, is my understanding. One guy, to me, that is a no. If this guy doesn't get a coaching job in this cycle of coaches, I don't know what they're looking at. How is Todd Nelson? Why doesn't he have a head coaching job? I don't understand it. So if you look at his coaching career, he coached 14 years in the minors. He's won 5 championships because he started out in the UHL. His first year, they won a championship. His second year, they won a championship. Then his third year went to round 2. Then he got promoted. Right? Went up to the American League. He was, and then he's had a few different stints as an assistant coach in the NHL. Obviously, he was an interim head coach here in Edmonton for a brief time. So he technically is being a head coach in the NHL. And he went back after 4 years in Dallas as an assistant coach. He's like, you know what? I got to get back coaching as a head coach again because I want to be a head coach. So what is he goes back to the AHL and all he does is win back-to-back championships. Like, what else does the guy need to do? I heard, one interview, they didn't like, they thought his suit was a little ragged. And I'm like, what? Why do you care what he looks like? Ask him questions. What is his coaching philosophy? Why is he having success? I don't really understand it. There's, when people say old boys club, there seems to be like, oh, he doesn't interview well. What does that even mean? Right? Do you sit down there and say, okay, Todd, tell us what your system's going to be? Right? I would think he knows. He's had lots of success. When I consider right now, there's 6 openings, even after Anaheim hired their coach. And we've got 2 new GMs that are going to get hired in Long Island and LA. And a lot of people speculating that means the new GM comes in, Patrick Waugh, Jim Hiller could be out. Because now their GM that hired him are no longer there. We all saw what happened to LA in their series against Edmonton. So there's some people who are like, hey, maybe we need a new coach. Now, Patrick Waugh was calling out his own GM last year. Maybe he's not long for Anaheim. So there's 8 jobs. I look at Todd Nelson and some of these teams, and I'm like, why wouldn't you? So, Vancouver, well, if I was Todd Nelson, actually, I'm not sure I'd want to go there. I think there's too much dysfunction in Vancouver, starting from their ownership group. You got the Boston Bruins. You have Chicago. You have Pittsburgh. You have Philadelphia. Now, Rick Tocchet, he's kind of at the top of the coaching ladder right now. He's going to determine, he's going to kind of pick where he goes, and some of these teams are going to wait. Anaheim, obviously he wasn't going there, so they move on. Vancouver, now they could go get their coach right now because Tocchet's obviously not going to Vancouver. He was just there. But Pittsburgh, Philly, Seattle. My understanding is he interviewed and was offered a gig in Seattle already. Why wouldn't they want him? Frank Saravalli was talking. He thinks, and he was on our daily on the DFO rundown. By the way, you should listen to that pod. It was very good this morning. Frank was talking how he thinks Rick Tocchet pretty much lock it in. He's going to get $6 million and a 5-year deal as head coach wherever he's going. That's what he's going to. He's well sought after. He's well respected, and that's what he's going to get. So. Hey, Greg's 100% with you. I thought Nelson was ready when he was the Oilers interim head coach. He did a great job with the terrible roster. I've talked to so many players that have played for him, and they really like how he communicates. They think he's a really smart coach, good in-game adjustments, and like his record doesn't lie. Like 5 championships in 14 years. He's been to the Final Four 2 other times. So that's 7 out of 14 years. His team has either won the final or got to the Final Four. It's pretty good. So I don't know what it is. Sometimes you get a reputation, and I've everybody like Todd's one of the more likable guys around. So it's not like he's a jerk. All right. And there are some people who get jobs because they interview well and they don't do a very good job. Happens. Like, another guy I think is going to probably get back in, Dave Hackstall. So there's Hackstall, there's Woodcroft, there's Tocchet. Like Todd Nelson is now Tortorella and Laviolette. Those guys have been around a long time, dude. Do they want in? Do you want them back? Probably a combination of both, depending on the organization. Hey, Greg's, if the Oilers don't win the cup, do they make a coaching change? What? No. Why would you? I haven't seen coaching as an issue at all. Hey, Greg's, I totally agree. Todd Nelson was my first partner in Prince Albert. He's a fabulous guy and helped me so much in my career. If anybody picks him up, they're going to be rewarded. From New Sarepta, Troy. Oh, boy, Troy. Well, there you go. Hey, man, I'm telling you, Todd is – every guy I've ever talked to about Todd has spoke highly of him just as a person. Players like him as a coach, so I don't get it. People say, oh, he's a bad interview. But what does that even mean, really? Like, what classifies – as a bad, like I'd like to talk to somebody who's interviewed coaches and say, okay, this is why you're a bad interview. I'd be curious. I want to know what it is. Because, we can, oh, I heard that, but where'd you hear it from? Right. You heard it speculation that, I don't know if anybody, like, what does that mean? Exactly. Like he didn't know like there's only so many systems in hockey. Now, maybe he comes across too laid back. But I don't know. Do your due diligence. Look for some other things. He's got a good track record and say, hey, maybe we're overvaluing a guy who's super crisp and smooth in the interview over a guy who wins, because last I checked, that's pretty important. All of his players enjoy playing for him. So what is it we're missing here? That's what I'd be looking at for Todd Nelson, for sure. So Leon Draisaitl, some other statistics for you. Leon Draisaitl has the second most rules in NHL history through his first, now this is an odd stat, through his first 42 playoff games. Only Brett Hall had more with 28. Like the Oilers, you got Draisaitl, you got McDavid, who just became the second fastest player to 90 playoff assists. He did it in 81 games. Gretzky's the quickest in 67. McDavid even beat Mario Lemieux, who did it in 97 games. The only guys doing less than 100. Like McDavid obviously is going to get his 100th assist before he plays 100 playoff games. Probably going to, if the Oilers win this series, really good chance he's going to get it this year. Impressive stuff. Then you throw in Evan Bouchard, second fastest defenseman all time to 50 assists. He needed 60 games. Bobby Orr was first at 59 games. Like, you're in some pretty special categories. And like the Oilers' top three gunners have been the highest scoring players in the NHL playoffs over I think I got to look. I'm pretty sure. Well, I know it's the last two seasons for sure, but I think it might even be the go back the last 3 years. They've from 23, 24, 25. I even think if I go back 4 years, they're still, 4 years. 108 for McDavid, 93 for Draisaitl, 67 for Bouchard. And then Mikko Rantanen's fourth, 64. Matthew Tkachuk is fifth at 62. McKinnon's at 56. Zach Hyman is seventh at 55. Nugent Hopkins is 10th at 53. So the Oilers 4 years in a row in the playoffs, man. I know they haven't won a cup yet, but they've had some good playoff success. Good playoff success. We got a lot of correct answers. We'll pick a winner during the break. If you text in with the answer Anaheim Ducks, you're good to go. We had a few others, but they were incorrect. It's the Anaheim Ducks. 2017, the Oilers went up 2-0 on the Ducks. Then they lost 3 in a row. You know that controversial Game 5? That's the game that sticks in the craw of many Oilers fans. Then the Oilers pumped them in Game 6. And then kind of lost a heartbreaker in Game 7 in Anaheim. We'll take a quick break. We will return when we come back. Fernando Pisani. We'll talk a little hockey with Fernando on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Work hard, get dirty, build better communities. If that sounds like a good day's work to you, GS Construction wants you to be part of their team. Right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men and pipe layers for underground sewer and water work. So if you know your way around a trench, take pride in doing the job right, and want to be part of a crew that has your back, let's get to work together. Apply now at gsconstruction.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's two things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
They are tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. Delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Is it Riverside Motorsports?
No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business and people still get it wrong.
Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
The Bricks tent sale is on now. With so many items to clear out, they've had to set up tents in the parking lot. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store. With new specials every day and a bonus gift with furniture purchases over $9.99, these offers won't last long. Save up to 50% off select mattresses, up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture, and the more you buy, the more you save. Up to an extra $1,000 off appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for detail. The Brick, saving you more.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Missioner Allen Auctions Unreserved Retirement Dispersal Auction for Double D Bobcat service at Cold Lake, Alberta is next Thursday at 9 a.m. Featuring over 650 auction lots, including deck trucks, gravel trucks, hydrovacs, tractors, pickups, and more. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers Score and Win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave in 118th.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
420, welcome back. We are live at OTR on the Rocks, Jasper Ave, 118th Street, where, of course, the calm before the storm, because it gets pretty excitable here at OTR tonight for hockey, and then you can end the night with a little salsa dancing. A great mix, especially after a win or even a loss. It's a lot of fun. OTR Jasper Ave, 118th Street, and the Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. It's Thursday, my favorite game, the Daily Grand. Get in for your chance to win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. Many of you text in the correct answer, but only one can be picked. And the winner today to qualify to win a $15,000 turnkey solar system for their home is Lance. Lance, good afternoon. How you doing?
Oh, so good now.
Lance, my man, give me your thoughts. What's happening tonight?
Oh, I think the Oilers are going to keep rolling and put a big scare into Vegas tonight.
Ooh, I like it. Lance, would you keep this or would you gift this unreal package courtesy of Action Electrical?
I'm keeping this all day long.
Pretty simple. I get it, man. It'd be a massive. Imagine if someone gifted that to you. Whew, that'd be good. Well, stay on the line. Connor will get all your information. And there's one final step, a simple email thing. And then you'll be in the draw. And 2 weeks tomorrow, we will announce the winner live here on Sports 1440.
I can't wait.
Awesome. There you go. It's that easy. Your next chance to qualify is tomorrow. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. Only 5 more chances to qualify. So keep listening, keep texting in, and hopefully you'll get picked. Now, let's talk a little hockey with the gentleman who knows a thing or two about NHL playoffs. Had himself quite a run back in 2006, all the way to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Done some scouting now in the NHL. Fernando Pastani joins us. Bernie, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. How you doing, buddy? Long time no chat.
Yeah, it's good. Things are good. We get into the playoff time, and I know for you, like it's probably fun, although maybe not the ending. But when you look at this year's Oiler team, And you were a guy who was always a very responsible forward. Obviously, you could score goals. We saw that. But give me your thought about kind of how well the Oilers have defended for the most part here, especially the last few games.
Yeah, well, I think they've done a fantastic job defending, and I think everybody knows defense is gonna win hockey games, and they're doing a really good job of just kind of keeping everything to the outside, and goaltending's been good, but also you've got depth scoring, which I think has been pretty instrumental to the success that they've had as of late.
Well, you know a thing or two about that. When a guy gets hot, man, you just feel it, don't you?
Yeah, you got this hot stick. You just keep it rolling for sure. And yeah, it's been good. It's been a lot of fun watching. And I think it's been the first time that roster's been dressed all year. So it's nice to see what the team's potential is for sure.
Can you talk about how you need different styles of players to win, Fernando? And that line you played on yourself, Torres and Pekka really kind of symbolize that. Yourself, really smart, reliable player, obviously got red hot. You had Pekka, and then you had Torres, who can score, but also he added a real physical element. And bringing Kane and Frederick in, how much do you think that just alters the whole team psyche a bit when you've got two guys who bring that element that maybe some of your other forwards don't?
Yeah, 100%. I think, when those guys jump on the ice, I think everybody kind of takes exception and knows, okay, I got to keep my head up, or I got to move the puck a little quicker and make decisions maybe that they, would have held on to if it's, a smaller guy coming at them. They know when those guys step on the ice that it's going to be a physical altercation that's going to happen. So, they're on edge, and I think it just kind of knocks them off their game in the decision-making process for sure.
You've been away from the game long enough, I would think, as a player. I know you're involved in scouting and stuff, but when you watch the playoffs, is it still is there a little bit of angst still from 2006, or are you kind of over it?
Well, when the finals happens and you watch them, hand the cup over, it's still hard to watch. I think it's almost going to be 20 years now, 19 years since it's happened, so time does fly by. But yeah, it's always tough. Kind of you go through that because as a player, you always think maybe next year we'll get it, but the years kind of go by quick, and all of a sudden you get one opportunity at it, and when you miss out and come that close, it's something that's hard to get over for sure.
That run, for a lot of young Oilers fans, that was their first ever experience of a deep playoff run. And, obviously the role that you played in that, a lot of people are like, Pasani's still one of my favorite players, right? You take solace in the fact that it was an unreal run right up until the end. Are you still able to enjoy everything but Game 7 this many years later?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was nobody expected us to do that, and I think that's what made it more special, and the type of team that we had, and we were a blue-collar team. We didn't have any of the high-end players. We obviously had Pronger, which was kind of the blue-chip player, but after that, it was kind of a blend of just kind of hard-working guys that, we knew that we had to not give an inch to anybody and not make mistakes and play a certain style to have success. And we knew that we needed everybody to do that, or else we weren't gonna go far.
Do you have a favorite memory from that run?
Well, yeah, obviously the one scoring the shorthanded goal is probably the most memorable thing that for me. But just where Sean puts his, blocks the shot and gets his face in front of it. That just kind of was the type of team we had, and just the little things that, the average person wouldn't notice, but you as a player, you're like, what, holy, this guy's just dove in front of a shot, and probably not the smartest thing to do it. And I don't think he would agree with that, but in the moment, you're just thinking, I can't let this shot go through. I need to make sure I get my body in it, stuff like that. And that's kind of an Ethan blocking shot. It's just everybody, just those little things that you need to definitely advance. So it was just everybody, sacrificing for the good of the team, which is kind of the, one of the big things that stood out to me.
Fernando Pisani joins us. Where were you, Fernando, when Winchester grabbed the octopus?
I was on the bench. I had no idea what was going on, and then I just see him go there and grab it. And the funny part is he did it the first game, and then the next game he had the surgical glove on. So that was funny when he put that. I'm like, oh, now he's got the glove on, because I think his hand stunk for a few days after that. So he had the old surgical glove and took it off for the second game. So it was funny.
But see, those are the type of moments where, you're sitting there, it's like you're in the playoffs, it's pressure packed, and your coach is like, hey, somebody, he tells, like, I've had Winchester on the show, he told the story, and it was so funny how he's like, coach is like, yeah, like he's a rookie. You're not going to say no, right? But it's just, what the hell's going on here? Like, how do I pick this thing up? Like, you guys must have been dying laughing after that. Like, even though it's
I had no idea
playoffs.
too. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I had no idea that was the plan, because it's playoffs and, you're all amped up and you're just focused. And I was the type of player that I couldn't, lose my focus, because that's just how I played and that's how it was. And I was like, I had no idea what was going on. And then I saw it and I was like, what the hell's going on here? Like, it was just so out of left field. But I had a chuckle about it after, for sure.
And then game 6, Detroit, like Alex Hemsky scored really late. Some people forget that. I think it was like a minute 30. He scores that goal. The place is going nuts. And I know you guys ended up going out on White Ave. It's a different time, right? Like, it's 19 years ago. There's no phones. And, the players are on White Ave. I think it was Hudson's on the corner, whatever. And you're in there, but you're kind of interacting with the fans, right? Like, something that just doesn't happen very much today anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. That game was pretty wild, and for us to kind of win it in that fashion was crazy. But yeah, you're right. A bunch of the guys, we all went out there and we're just kind of hanging out. But that's kind of the team that we were. We were just kind of blue collar guys, and just went out there and had some laughs and celebrated with it. Because I think to some degree we're a little bit surprised at the outcome as well. But so, we were kind of, excited about that, and, looking forward to getting ready for the next round.
In the Anaheim series, how sick were some of the guys?
Well, yeah, some guys, Jason Smith was puking quite a bit, and I don't know how he played. And there was about 5 or 6 guys that were pretty banged up. And for us to come out of, that series the way we did, and well, how that goes, right? You play so much hockey throughout the year, and then playoffs is another level, and the amount your body gets taxed, and then to go to be sick and try to get healthy through that time, there's really not a lot of time to do that. And it just goes to show you that the focus and the determination that guys had, because up until then, we never really experienced, any type of playoff success. And to get to that, next round, the guys were, just, hungry for it. And then it showed in how we played and how you persevered.
Fernando Pisani joins us. And so you mentioned, you're a little surprised after, winning in the first round against Detroit. Then you go down 2-0 to San Jose. And you come back, there's the big hit, Torres on Mihalik, and then there's the overtime winner. I think that was Jared Stoller, maybe it's Horkoff. I can't remember who it was in that game. It might have been Horkoff. But
yeah, I think it was Horkoff.
So after you're like, okay, we're a little surprised, we had fun. But was there anybody who said, hey, guys, like, we deserve to be here now. We can go farther than just a, like a one-round Cinderella run?
Well, yeah, 100%. When I say surprised, it wasn't like, we had a game plan.
Yep.
We executed. We played extremely well, and we deserved it. But when you go to the next round, like you said, Rafi makes that big hit, and that just kind of changes the whole momentum, because you go from one series in Detroit, it was very tactical, and then San Jose was just coming at us at a different level and was physical, and I think it just took us those days to kind of get acclimated to the style that we needed to play, because each series obviously is different. And once we did, and then that hit kind of was a turning point for us in terms of, getting us going. And then, okay, this is what we got to do. This is how we have to play. And we just kind of went out and did it for sure.
Fernando Pisani joined us. And Fernando, you talked about how you were a guy who you had to get focused. Some guys can laugh and joke around, and you're like, no, I got to be focused. I got to stay focused. But you're in that moment, and now you're starting to score, and you keep scoring. Like, was there ever a point where you just like, okay, well, now my role is to be a goal scorer, right? Like, you'd been that in other levels of your career. So was it easy to go back to that, or did you kind of have to get in a mindset like, hey, I'm relied upon now to be a goal scorer, which wasn't necessarily your role in the regular season?
Yeah, I never really approached it that way. I just was kind of continue to play my game. And, when I got the opportunities, it was just automatic and things were just kind of rolling in. So my mindset, didn't change saying, oh, I need to score goals now. It was, okay, get an opportunity and make the most of it. But, also, having Pekka and having Raf and just how we were clicking and getting opportunities, and, Rafi would go in and make a big hit, and Pex would find me in the slot, and it was kind of like, okay, I'd get in the slot and just get it off quick. And it was just, everything was kind of clicking and lining up. So the mindset didn't change. It was just, the goals, the pucks were going in.
And and then we'll get to the orders and the Vegas in a sec. But going back to your Game 5 shorthanded goal, when you knock it down, are you thinking top shelf right away when you take that puck in?
Well, no, not really. I kind of got it, and it deflected and hit me and then came down. And as soon as I looked up, it looked like Ward was kind of cheating to the one side, or I don't know if he just kind of was a little bit surprised by it. But when I looked up, I saw the net, and it just felt like it was a big opening, and I just wanted to get it off as quickly as I could, because I wasn't sure if anybody was coming behind me too. So it was one of those situations where it happened really fast, but then once I got it, it seemed like everything kind of slowed down. So, and I was just fortunate enough to get it to, where I wanted it to go.
Can you describe what you feel like in that moment in a Stanley Cup final, shorthanded, needing a win to keep your dream alive, and you score that goal? Like, after you shoot, like, do you even think of anything, or are you just like, oh my God, like, this is, because you were not a guy who was outwardly emotional all the time when you scored, but man, like, obviously it's impossible not to be in that moment. Kind of, do you remember how you felt and what went through your mind in the seconds after you scored?
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to really celebrate because, guys jumped on me so quick. But yeah, it was, it's something, everybody says this, but you dream of it as a kid when you're playing street hockey and, Game 7, Stanley Cup finals, and to actually go out there and do it in kind of the fashion that it happened. And, we got the penalty, and the last thing you're thinking of is to score a goal. You're thinking, let's kill this off and let's get back to work again. So that was the kind of the mindset, but how everything kind of played out, where the puck just kind of was in the right spot at the right time. And, you get your shot off quick and clean. And, I was fortunate that it went in, but, just when you watch the video after, because when you're in the moment, you don't really think or see, the bench and the excitement. But when you watch it after and just seeing everybody going crazy on the bench and guys throwing towels and trainers were jumping up and down, and Mac was too, and your teammates coming to jump on you, it's kind of cool to look back and see that for sure.
Strutty's told me he showed his kids his shootout goal probably 1,000 times.
God.
Have you showed? How many times have your boys watched that goal?
Well, I've showed them a few times, but now they.
Well, you have to. You better.
Well,
kidding me?
Yeah. They're like, you only have one move. I'm surprised you didn't do it, right? So.
Yeah, well, your boys are junior now, so of course they're going to chirp you. But you're just like,
yeah,
hey.
Oh yeah, I get chirped pretty hard. So.
Well, hey, I only got one move, but all that matters is if it works, right? The key
exactly. I'm like, well, they got to figure it out then.
Now let's get to the, watching this Edmonton Vegas series. Edmonton played a really good game for the last 50 minutes. They thoroughly dominated that game. Now the playoffs, I don't know if momentum really carries over or not. Edmonton, I think, has played how they've really wanted to a lot in the later stage of the LA series, and then this game 1. how do you ensure, like, you can't just come back and dominate, I don't think, for 50 minutes. Vegas is a good team, but how do you carry it over to the next game for now? Like, what are the main focal points from the Oilers heading into tonight?
Well, yeah, it's hard to carry momentum in from one game to the next because teams are going to make adjustments, and Vegas is going to make some adjustments on their end on what they need to do. But I think the Oilers have just been very, very stingy and tight in how they've played collectively, and when you get that depth scoring, you're not taxing your top guys as much, so you don't need to ride them as hard. So. I think for them, they just got to continue to play smart, and they've had opportunities and lots of them, and they've been capitalizing them, and just kind of tighten up the defensive zone and just make sure that you don't give them any unnecessary chances. So I think if they continue to do that and play a tight, smart game, then I think they're going to do very well.
Well, the thing that really stood out to me in game one was how much the Oilers use the stretch pass. Now, you have to have defensemen who can do it, but the minute they got the puck, they had a lot of pre-planned plays there. It's not just the guys are reading it in the moment. That was a clear, decisive plan. They stretched the ice and caught Vegas 2 or 3 guys deep on numerous occasions. How do you think Vegas is going to try to counter that tonight?
Well, I don't know if they'll go to the extent that LA did with, using the top of the circles and stretching, but I think they're going to be very cognizant of that stretch pass and not letting 2 or 3 guys get beat with one pass. So I think they'll sit back maybe a little bit, but you can't give Oilers time and space. I think that was the big difference from the LA series, where when LA was having success, they were pressuring, and they were taking away the time and space on the back end and forcing them to make unforced errors, but. And then when they sat back, I think the Oilers just kind of took over and picked them apart. So there's that fine line where you're going to have to protect the middle of the ice and kind of play a smarter, structured game. But you can't give the Oilers too much time and space because they're just too good and too smart and they'll take advantage of it.
And Fernando, lastly, how have you liked the scouting? What's been the biggest learning curve for you as a scout?
Well, I'm not doing it anymore. I did it last year, and so I'm not doing it this year. I kind of took a little bit of a break for it. It was, I have a new appreciation for the amount of work and time and effort that scouts do, and the time away from home and the commitment it is to kind of traveling around. And but yeah, it was. You learn a lot, and you take away certain things that you could do better and what people are watching for. And it's interesting to be a part of the GM meetings with the scouting staff and just kind of hearing different thoughts. And that's the fun part, is kind of sitting at a table and just talking hockey and breaking down games of certain players and what they're looking for. And it's funny, as the game's kind of grown, you're still looking for the same fundamentals that I had when I played as a young kid. So okay. It's funny to hear different things, but it always comes back to work ethic, compete, and all those things that everybody's looking for.
Well, Fernando, always good to catch up with you. I'm sure we'll see you at a game. Waving a towel sometime soon. Yeah. I know they save the big dogs till a little bit later in the playoffs, so that's probably when we'll see you out there. So
yeah, well, I think I'm going to head out to Saturday's game, so I'll see you there if you're around.
Oh, I'll be there, my man. Always good to talk to you. We'll catch up on Saturday.
All right, thanks, buddy. Take care.
You betcha. That's Fernando Pisani, obviously a key member of the 2006 Cup run. And what's great about the run is, as a fan, obviously it didn't end how you wanted to. But most of you, especially if that was like your kind of first time really experiencing playoff success, and for a few generations of fans, it was. And even like last year was great up until Game 7. And Game 7 sucked for Oilers fans and the team. But it doesn't erase like the 2 months you had of super fun. And that's really, for a lot of fans, like that gets you in and you stay a fan for a long time. Or reinvigorates you if you've been a fan. And that's why I think for lots of people, we got tons of text messages coming in that Pisani was like, that's their guy. He wasn't the superstar player, but he was a superstar for that run. And he was. He scored 14 goals and scored some of the biggest goals. Like when you look at his overtime goal against Colorado, it's top 5 playoff goals of all time in franchise history for the Oilers. It was massive. Like when you consider timing of the game, Stanley Cup final, shorthanded, and like it was a sweet goal too. It wasn't just like, you know what, you come in, you get a lucky break. It was a great shot. And that will go down for sure. Like I'm trying to think of bigger goals in Oilers history. Because you got to think it's got to be in the Stanley Cup final, right? It's got to be. Like Janmark's breakaway goal in Game 7 is a really good goal, but it tied the game, right? It wasn't a winning goal. It wasn't an overtime goal. You think about, the Gretzky shorthanded. Now, there wasn't the Stanley Cup final. It was a big goal over the shoulder. But like which goals would Glenn Anderson Game 7 against Philly, right? That's kind of like that was the insurance goal. It's a 2-1 game. Steps across the blue line, rips it, scores. Which other goals would you have? If you had to put top 5 playoff goals for the Oilers, what would they be? 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our eWell inbox. We'll return live at OTR. It's the Jason Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksyeg.com.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slaya smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Do it. Your vehicle is a big investment. Protect it at Hughes Car Wash. We use only clean, fresh water and the highest quality car wash soap. Hughes Car Wash, the car wash pros.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with the tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Join the Stingers at their home opener Sunday, May 11th at 4 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
Missioner Allen Auction's unreserved retirement dispersal auction for Double D Bobcat service at Cold Lake, Alberta is next Thursday at 9 a.m. Featuring over 650 auction lots, including deck trucks, gravel trucks, hydrovacs, tractors, pickups, and more. Info at maauctions.com.
Yeah.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.449, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely day. We are live at OTR, Jasper Ave 118th, the calm before the storm. Man, it's rocking in here on Tuesday. It's going to be packed again tonight. Call. They got one or two tables left for reservation. If you want to call to ensure, like, hey, you can show up, get here, and away you go. We got a lot of texts coming in. The Todd Marchant goal, 1997, is getting a lot of play. Obviously, Peter Klima's overtime winner in 1990. Classic line, you need a pretty long stick to score from the bench. So, yeah, we'll get to a few other ones. But, like the Marchand one, because really that was, being 7 years. Well, the Oilers did have success, I guess, in 91 and 92, but it'd been a long time. The Oilers had missed the playoffs 4 years in a row. They're heavy underdog. They're on the road. It's Todd Marchand, of all people. He rarely scored on a breakaway. And it goes at post and in. And that was after. What was unique about the Marchand goal was there was also the Curtis Joseph save on Joe Nieuwendyk earlier in that period, which was that might be the greatest save in Oilers history. When you think about it, like, just stupid save. So good. So, yeah, if your favorite, if you had to go like top 5 Oilers playoff goals, Kevin McClellan, Stanley Cup final game 1, they won 1-0. Wasn't the prettiest goal, though. Like, timely meant a lot, yeah. But at the moment, I don't know if it grabbed you like the Marchand goal, overtime goals, game 7, right? Pisani, game 5, massive. So, yeah, there's a few other ones. Love it. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick, where you get 60% off genuine leather sofas when you buy the matching Love Cedar chair, 60% off select clearance mattresses, and 60% off scratch and dent appliances. And, man, like, they're barely noticeable. I got one. It was like the best deal ever. So check it out at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, can't stop the tradition. What is your game day prediction for tonight's game?
Man, I wrestled with this reading my article for sure. So, because I always do the prediction, and like the Oilers, historically, they haven't made it easy on themselves. But man, they played so well in the last game, and you think, hey, they haven't real, like Connor McDavid talking about it. So I'm going to say the Oilers shock people and win 2 games in a row in Vegas. I'm going with the shocker tonight, and the Oilers win 4-3.
All right. I was going to go with a close one. I think the offense will continue for the Oilers. 5-3 win in Vegas. Question number 2 for you. In the 7 Oilers playoff games so far, one name, who has been the biggest surprise?
Oh, biggest surprise. I'm going to go John Klingberg. I think it has to be. Like, John Klingberg has come in, and compared to how he looked in the regular season, he gets the infection. And in a weird way, I don't know if it seemed to help him or not. I have no idea. I went to ask him that jokingly. He's like, no, but he's played really well. I'm going to go John Klingberg.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to say Corey Perry, just because we talked about, he could be a guy that draws out of the lineup occasionally, and all of a sudden now he's playing top line with McDavid and Draisaitl and has 3 goals. And it's not every shift, like you said, but he's been in spot duty really good. So Corey Perry has been a good, pleasant surprise for me. Question number 3, fill in the blank. After another hat trick for the Dallas Stars, in your opinion, Mikko Rantanen is a top blank player in the NHL?
Well, the hat tricks, he's top 6 all time in points per game in the playoffs, guys who have played at least 50 games. He's 6th, McKinnon's 5th, Draisaitl's 4th, McDavid's 3rd, Lemieux 2nd, Gretzky's 1st. So, like, it's not just lately. Like, he scored lots beforehand. When I look at him, so you got McDavid, you got McKinnon, you got Draisaitl, you got Kucherov. Man, then there's Kaprizov, Mikko Rantanen, Cale Makar. I'm going to say he's top 7.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. And I will be totally honest with you. When he was traded to Carolina, like, obviously we knew he was really good, but I thought, oh, is this going to be who he is? Maybe he's not quite as good as I thought he was. But then he goes to Dallas and he's been absolutely fantastic. So yeah, to me, without a doubt, he's easy top 10, and what a run he's on right now. Question number 4 for you. What do you think of the Quenneville hire by the Anaheim Ducks?
I look at Joel Quenneville, and I think he obviously, now, sometimes I think people act as though he was the guy who did it. I don't know if they ever, and even if you read the report, the initial time when they're in the playoffs, they say, hey, something happened and we're going to take care. They don't know, like something happened, but they don't know to what detail. Now, could he have done a better job maybe to find out? Okay, sure. But when you have a GM and you have other people and they say, hey, we'll take care of it, I guess I get to it. Now, he paid his time. I had no problem with the NHL when they said, hey, man, you were part of the problem. You weren't the main problem, but you were part of it. So, you know what? He got fired, and he's been out of the league for a while. He's got a pretty good resume. So I think he's at the point now where you'd hire him. And I think for Anaheim, a team that's starting the escalators on the way up. Now, how fast is it going to go remains to be seen. There's been some teams that have been on the escalator up for a few years, but they can't get past the first floor. If the second floor is the playoffs, they can't get past the first floor. So I think he'll be a much better communicator and systemic coach than their previous coach, so that should help him.
Yeah, I mean, there's no denying him. He's a good coach. Like, I think it's going to be a good hire for this team. They've got a lot of nice young players around them. I think he's going to get them to that next step and into the playoffs. So I think on it, like, it's a very good hire for the Anaheim Ducks to go out and get him. Final question for you. It was on this day in 1963, the first James Bond film debuted, Dr. No, with Sean Connery. So give me your top Bond film, Bond actor, and top Bond love interest.
Go ahead.
I mean, I really got into it when the release of GoldenEye, the video game, and I think they had like AMC Bond Week, and they'd watch them all. So my dad and I really got into those, but I can't go away from the classic. Like, for me, it was Pierce Brosnan, and I know he's not the highest on a lot of people's list, but in my opinion, from that alone, and GoldenEye, the game I love so much on the N64, he's one there. GoldenEye is my favorite movie, and if I had to go the female side from Bond, Denise Richards. The world is not enough.
Yeah, I can get on board with that one. Who is my favorite Bond? That's a good question. I'm probably going to go Roger Moore, because I was like the first one and I liked him in many of his. So I'm going to go with Roger Moore. And I guess then I'm going to go with Madeleine Swan, who was his love interest in Spectre, No Time to Die. So yeah, that would be my and then you asked what's my favorite Bond?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. I might go with For Your Eyes Only. Yeah, I think I'll go with that one.
All right.
There's lots of choices there, man. I like the Denise Richards one. I didn't want to steal it. Big crush on Denise Richards. More so from other movies, but let's see why.
She had a run, yeah.
Oh, you kidding me? Yes, she pretty good run, no question. So Wild Things, classic movie, buddy. Classic. When she comes out of the pool in the blue bikini, yowza. That's you know what? There's certain things where you have a crush on. That was the scene. That was the moment where you're just like, oh, hello, Denise Richards. What's happening? So nothing wrong with that. I'm sure everybody out there, if you had to have like one character that you're like, there's a certain scene, that would probably be you'd each have one. Guys or girls, doesn't matter, right? Just got a crush on somebody at some point. Nothing wrong with that. Coming up in the final hour of the show today, we will hear from Mark Spector, Jeff Merrick. We'll be by from the sheet. We'll talk lots of the Oilers and Vegas. 2 games tonight. Of course, Washington, just like Vegas, both of them trying to avoid going down 0-2 on home ice. Carolina and the Oilers, as we talked about 0-6 earlier. Maybe both on the road could be up 2-0. Should be a heck of a game tonight. Looking forward to it. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. They take flight with the new legendary Dragon Fruit lineup. Introducing the Dragon Slaya Smoothie, the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and the Dragon Booster Ball. Conquer your cravings by stopping in your local Booster Juice today.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
We're about 2.5 hours away from puck drop as the Oilers down in Vegas have to take on Golden Knights in game 2 of their best of 7. Looks like Alex Spencer will get back into the lineup for Vegas. We've got pregame coverage for you starting at 6 with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson. At 5, the Caps taking on the Canes. Right now, Carolina leading that series 1-0. Joel Quenneville has been hired as the new head coach of the Anaheim Ducks. He's been out of the NHL since 2021 after resigning as the head coach of the Florida Panthers following the investigation into the Chicago Blackhawks. In the association, you got the Timberwolves and Warriors going at it at 6:30. Golden State does lead that series 1-0, but they will be without Steph Curry in this one. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays taking on the Angels once again. First pitch set for 7:38. Earlier today, Twins knocked off the Orioles 5-2. Rangers fell to the Red Sox 5-0. It was the Royals over the White Sox 10-0. And in game 1 of their doubleheader, Tigers beating up on the Rockies 10-2. Right now, Tigers lead the Rockies 6-1 in the bottom of the third in game number 2. In the PWHL, getting going shortly, game 1 of their playoff series, Ottawa taking on Montreal. And some news from the CFL, the Edmonton Elks signing wide receiver, Iris Jackson. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and host of The Sheet, Jeff Merrick. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Hey, Alberta. The all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
The month of May brings machines, mud, and for us, many an opportunity. We're GS Construction, and we love the warmer weather because it means we can get to work. But to keep things moving, we need the right people on our team. You built your skills. You know your work matters. Now's the time to bring that experience to a crew that gets it. We're hiring experienced top men and pipe layers. So if you're ready to dig in and be part of a team that has your back, apply now at gsconstruction.ca for this great opportunity.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things.
Connor Halley,
Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Blue Jays baseball is back on Sports.
They're live at OTR.
This Saturday and Sunday, listen live to the broadcast of Canada's favorite team. Proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball. We are Sports 1440.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled.
The game's kind of grown.
Trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance. When you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next adventure. Yamaha's legendary performance and reliability take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail. RideRiverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Missioner Allen Auctions Unreserved Retirement Dispersal Auction for Double D Bobcat Service at Cold Lake, Alberta is next Thursday at 9 a.m. Featuring over 650 auction lots, including end dumps, lowboys, gravel pups, goosenecks, jeeps, equipment trailers, and skid structures. Info at maauctions.com.
Summit Restaurant. Located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common, Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Garage Superstore. By Premier Built Garage is your one-stop shop for everything garage, from accessories and storage solutions to cabinets, vehicle hoists, storage racks, and Traeger grills. We've got everything you need to maximize your space. Visit our 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th Ave or online at garagesuperstore.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Ooh, a little extra tunes for you on a Thursday afternoon. You make your way home. Be calm, be patient. Everybody out there is fired up just like you. They want to get home in time. You got lots of time. Of course, 7:50 again, puck drop tonight for the Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. It is the Jason Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, your one-stop shop, baby. You can get it all under one roof. Casinos, live dealers. You've got pick on your games, lotteries. It's Thursday, the Daily Grand. Check it out at playalberta.ca. We are live at OTR. I'm seeing it. They're getting early and set for Washington and Carolina. The Hurricanes dominating game one, similar to the Edmonton Oilers. So both the road teams will want to recapture that. Meanwhile, the home teams trying to get back on track. So both these games are pretty exciting to watch. I love man. Playoff hockey. I'll watch anything. NBA. I don't care which teams are playing. I love it. Like watching OKC last night. Oh, that was unreal. Now it was an ass kicking, but it was a heck of a game. The Knicks and the Celtics came right down to the wire. First time in NBA history that a 60-point team has gone down 0-2 in a playoff series. And there's two of them. Both Cleveland and the Celtics lost both games at home to the Knicks and the Pacers. Nuts. Now, let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. All your running water, they help you get it going. The freeways that you drive on, all the underground stuff, that's what they do. The unheralded, they're the checkers of construction. GS Construction. As Mark Spector joins us once again from Las Vegas. Spec, you pace yourself on a Wednesday night?
Yeah. Work, church, and home, buddy. You know me.
Yeah, I know you. That's why I asked. So, little afternoon shower just to get you set back up.
Yes, sir.
The Bruce Cassidy, let's start there. He was pretty honest about his team. He didn't like his forecheck. He didn't like some of their decisions. And really, and he said, hey, I give Edmonton credit. They play better than us. But he emphasized forecheck. So I would think they're going to try to forecheck more. But if they got to almost do what Edmonton did, I think, against LA and do a little bit of dump and place rather than just dump and chase.
Well, maybe you got to dump it in better, because certainly on Edmonton's side of the ball, they're talking about how well Klingberg played, right? Retrieving pucks and putting it on people's tape, and how well Bouchard played doing the same thing. And, Edmonton's forwards, they got the puck on their tape and away they went through the neutral zone at lightning speed. And what does that tell you? It tells you that the defense had too easy if I'm Bruce Cassidy, I think the Oilers defense had too easy a time getting the puck, turning around, finding their guy, and delivering the pass. So yes, we know how it starts in your own zone, man. If you can disrupt down in Edmonton zone. That's what Vegas has to figure out a way to do. If we're talking tonight about how great Klingberg was with outlet passes, I'll bet you the Oilers win.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's totally valid. From the other side for Vegas, Pietrangelo, I talked to Jesse Granger. He thinks he's going to play. A few other guys that talked in Vegas, just watching the morning skate, they said, hey, they think he's going to play tonight. That'll obviously, he'll help their team. He's not going to help their forecheck, but he is going to help them. The other thing Cassie talked about, Spec, is he thought, that they spent way too much time defending. They got tired. He wants to see if they can attack high in the zone. And I think that's where they feast on teams, right? Like their second goal came from a Draisaitl errant pass that got turned over high in the offensive zone. They went the other way, goal, right? And that feeds right into them. And so that's where Edmonton, I think their puck management tonight, high in the offensive zone, is going to be a major part of the game. Yeah, that's how they beat you on the rush. Like in today's game, where did 3-on-2s come from? They come from it's a transition from something that went bad in the neutral zone, a puck you stole, right? Or a giveaway up high by the blue line, like you're talking about. If a team's trying to score off the rush, and that's what Vegas is good at, you don't start a 3-on-2 behind your own net. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Yeah. So yes, if I'm the Oilers, I'm careful near the blue line, but I think judging off game one, cycle that puck down low on them and continue to, because they had plenty of cycle time in the first game. Well, Edmonton's the faster team. They're Jesse Granger admitted, hey, they're the quicker team. And so, Edmonton, I think, has to use that to their advantage. Connor Brown's got a lot of speed on his line. Arvidsson and Podkolzin, can skate well. And Janmark's actually a very good skater. So, yes. Edmonton, I think, has got to use their speed. We know McDavid can skate, and obviously Hyman and Kane and Nugent Hopkins can all skate. So, I look at Edmonton and I feel like they really have to. You want to, ideally you'd like a better start, right? Don't take a penalty. It's funny. The Oilers, I was looking, they have taken the first penalty of the game, Spec, 5 times, and 4 of them have come in the first 5 minutes. Like, they're not giving themselves a great chance to have a good start when you're always giving the other team an opportunity to score in the power play. Yeah, it's amazing. Like, the whole penalty thing this year is so goofy. They've played 7 games and had the less power plays than their opponent 7 times. Like, that's uncanny. That never happens. Right. And you're right. Seems like they come out of the gate and, that high stick by Nugent Hopkins, boom, you're looking for a good start. You got a 4-minute minor to kill, double minor. So yes, it's pretty obvious statement. So, at some point, the dam's got to break on this power play thing. At some point, Edmonton's got to get more than 1 or 2 power plays in a game. And I really liked their power play the other night. I thought it was excellent. It didn't score, but I thought it was excellent. And it's hard to win the special teams battle, Jay. Right? It's hard to win it when you're taking a penalty first thing in the game and B, only getting 2 power plays. I don't get how you can have the puck all night like they did and only get 2 power plays, but that's probably a separate conversation here. Well, Vegas was giving them the outside, and I saw Edmonton had possession, but I didn't see them forcing Vegas into a lot of penalty situations. You say, oh, that should be a penalty. Like, Edmonton has the puck, right? Like, I probably didn't. I could see why the Connor Brown penalty got called from the ref's angle. The other angle showed that obviously he got tapped in. He might say, hey, you know what? And who knows, Spec, after what we saw in the Stolars game, that maybe there's a memo. You know how that works, where all of a sudden, hey, goalie gets hit. Now we're going to be oversensitive to it. And that might have been, of course, they'll never tell you that, but I'm not an idiot. I think it's not to me a magical that it just happened, So, but if you're Edmonton, how do you feel you can get Vegas into situations where because they're the slower team, so use your speed. I think Edmonton has to attack the middle of the ice. I thought they attacked a lot on the outside and it worked off the rush, but I think they have to attack the middle of the ice a little bit more in the offensive zone. Yeah, I think you can, for instance, I find that when McDavid comes in, we all know the power play entry for the Oilers. When McDavid attacks the middle, oftentimes he comes over the line, he peels off to the boards, he makes a pass, and they set up, and that works just great. When he attacks the middle with that speed, that's where you get a hook. That's where you get someone trying to impede him. Like, I think you're right. I think they're going to let the Oilers be around the exterior of the zone. I think that, let's face it, how do you take penalties? Guys that are going to get you penalties, if it's not one of your fastest guys going right at somebody,
Probably it's a Zach Hyman taking a puck to the net. It's a Corey Perry driving a puck to the net, right? Something like that. But listen, thus far in the playoffs, Jay, I've seen a whole lot of guys taking a whole lot of pucks to nets, and I'm not seeing a lot of penalties. So either the other teams are really clean, or maybe the Oilers have to do more. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to play better than they played in game one. I love their game, and we may be a little bit remiss trying to find new ways for them to be successful. Maybe what they did in game one just worked. Maybe it'll work again.
Oh, no. Well, their game one spec was eerily, other than the first 9 minutes, was eerily similar to game 5 against LA. It was almost a carbon copy.
Yeah. Well, then, so here's a team playing its very best hockey the last 3 games it's played. I'm telling you, it's the best they've played all season. Their neutral zone right now is like the Kings couldn't get through it. Vegas couldn't get through it. They held in the offensive zone so effectively that by the time Vegas got it out, it was just time to change, right? Vegas had to change, give Edmonton the puck, and here comes Edmonton back at him again. So, I think you like any individual players. All of a sudden, Bouchard is playoff Bouchard, right? No one's complaining about Bouchard's game right now, man. It is airtight. So I kind of like the fact you got a hockey team here that's picked the most important time of the season to play their best hockey, and individuals who are doing the same thing. They're dangerous, man. This is a good-looking hockey team right now.
Oh God, yeah. And they have the chance tonight, Spec. And did you? I think you said yesterday, McDavid joked, "Well, we're not used to being in this situation, up 1-0," which is true. They're not, but tonight is. I know they said, "Hey, this is a big game for Vegas." I'd argue it's just as big a game for Edmonton, because the Oilers, for the most part, have made life as hard as it could on themselves, right? They needed Stuart Skinner to save their bacon in game 6 last year against Dallas. Otherwise, they're going to game 7. They had to go to game 7 against Vancouver. Skinner struggled early. Then they go to, they're down 3-0 against Florida. They were making Bobrovsky look like a Vezina Trophy winner because they weren't following the shooting game plan. Then they did, and suddenly it's a 3-3 series. Tonight's an opportunity. You go up 2-0. Right? You can put a lot of doubt in Vegas. You come home and you're thinking, hey, we could have a short series here. And the shorter the series, rest might be the most valuable player of the playoffs every year, Spec. The rest that you can have. And Edmonton's really never done that.
Well, it's funny. Bouchard said something this morning. He said, we all know that you don't, I forget what the question was, but he said, the answer stood out in my mind. He said, we all know you only get so many chances to play on a championship team. And the feeling was that, we got to put it together here. This is a special time here. We all know it. It's their Stanley Cup window. But he basically came out and said that we're quite aware that it's time to, really bear down on this thing here. And what you're saying is exactly true. Part of being a championship team is realizing, if we can get our foot on the throat of this other team, it can really make this thing, not as treacherous as the journey was last season. You're right. They finally got down 3-0 to Florida and almost came back, but you can't go a harder road than Edmonton played last year. They played 25 games. So I hear what you're saying. And, I think there's a focus in that room. I think I really feel like there's a mandate here. Let's bear down, let's be pros here, and let's see if we can do something that we haven't done in the past, right?
Yeah, Mark Spector joins us. Spec, you look at the, you mentioned the power play, and they didn't score. They had a few decent looks. I didn't maybe love it as much as you did. What did you like about their power play last night that you think is a sign that if they get 1 or 2, maybe 3 tonight, that they'll score?
Yeah, I thought that, first of all, their entries were excellent. I thought they didn't have any problem establishing and getting set up in the zone. And I thought they kept it in the zone for quite a while. You'll notice the first unit power play was on the ice for about $1.40 each time. And that's a sign that there aren't many clears, right? Vegas wasn't getting many clears. So that's where it starts with Edmonton's power play for me, Jay, is they get it in there and they move it and find something. If they find Perry or Hyman in the crease, they find Draisaitl off the side. They find Nugent Hopkins coming in from the dot, right? Bouchard creeps down to the tops of the circles for the one-timer. They've got so many weapons, and I find that the longer they're in the zone, the more likely it is one of those weapons pops open here. Now, they didn't quite get. There was a one-timer for Bouchard that was in his skates last game that I thought he was ready to probably drill one home, but I thought that they had a plenty of zone time, and the history of this power play, as you know, Jason, is zone time equals goals for this club.
Yeah, usually you're right that they will wear him down. Connor Brown, Spec. It's not very often that you can walk Shea Theodore. And that's what it is. It was a 3-2 game. Like that's sort of like it's a 3-2 game. Vegas is thinking, hey, we're gonna get possession, we're gonna pull the goalie, and Connor Brown just goes down and great goal, lots of poise. Looked like and like his goal celebration, it kind of comes to the bench fast. He's like, boys, like I'm expecting myself to score right now.
Yes,
yes. It's almost like he's a totally different player.
Well, he is. So this is the great lesson in confidence. Like guys like you and me and most of our listeners who played hockey growing up, and we'd kill to be playing in the NHL. Like that was the dream that, we're never close to it. But for me, when I see NHL players and they say, man, I'm losing my confidence, or you can see that a guy's lost his confidence, I always think, how can you not be confident? You're such a good player. You're an NHL player. But Connor Brown last night or 2 nights ago, when he crossed that blue line, he looked like a guy that fully expected to score, and he did. And only a year ago, what did he go? 55 games before he scored his first goal. I mean,
might even more than that.
His confidence was a mess last year. Yeah. It stemmed from the ACL. It's a mental thing. And and Klingberg, throw him on the pile too, man. Here's a guy that didn't like the feeling that he had going on for the last few years. His hips were no good. He was basically faking it to stay in the lineup. All of a sudden you watch him play. He's confident. He's making plays. He's not thinking about his hips anymore or his injuries. That's the deal here, boys. Those are 2 players now who have confidence. And Connor Brown, I mean, he's 4 times the player he was, as the playoffs started last season, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Like it's so noticeable that it's almost comical, really, that how much difference is. It just shows you we have Lorianne on lots talking about confidence, and I think people see that and you recognize, and it's a great example for kids, man, like you. Confidence is everything. So, and it's hard, like it can wane and it can go away quickly, but God, when you get it back, you feel pretty darn good.
That's why a guy like Evander Kane, who we all know is a supremely confident person, right? Like that guy believes in himself no matter what, and that's a compliment. Here's a guy who hasn't played for 10 months. He walks in with swagger, right? And he's playing pretty well. Like give Evander Kane credit, man. Not many, look at how long it took Connor Brown to play well after that surgery he had. So Kane's an example of a guy that seems to not lose his confidence. Give him credit for that.
Oh God, yeah. There's no lack of it there. I always say he's got an on-ice arrogance, and I mean that in a compliment way. Like he comes back, I'm going to be good, and he's been impactful. There's very few guys on their team that haven't been impactful, to be honest, which is what you need to win. Yep. And if they get enough guys going tonight, Spec, there's a good chance that they could come to Edmonton up 2-0, which is something that has not happened very often.
I see, Vegas didn't have a great game, and they're telling themselves, look, we didn't play very well, and Edmonton beat us up in every aspect, and it's one game, it's a one-off. We're going to right that ship tonight. Like Vegas is walking into the rink today saying, okay, they're going to see the real Vegas Golden Knights, and the real Vegas Golden Knights are a very, very good team. All right, we all know. So the result tonight will really tell us something, right? Either Vegas shows what they got, and they're a way stiffer test than they were the other night, or if the Oilers, maintain possession and win as many minutes tonight as they did the other night, oh boy, that's going to tell us something too.
Looking forward to it, Spec. Enjoy the game. We will chat with you tomorrow.
Thanks, Jake.
That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. It is the Jason Gregor Show live at On the Rocks, Jasper Ave, and 118th Street. Your place to watch the game tonight. It's also, hey, if you like tequilas, you got special tequilas today. Also, beer throughout the game and more at Jasper Ave, 118th. We'll return. Jeff Merrick joins us next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Today is McHappy Day, when every menu item purchased at McDonald's helps support families with sick children. So you can feel the good that comes from doing good, just from ordering.
So if I order a Big Mac, I'm helping.
Yep.
What about a McFlurry? 10-piece chicken McNuggets and apple pie?
You got it. Every single order helps. Join us at McDonald's today for McHappy Day. Do good, feel good. A portion of food and beverage sales will support RMHC chapters and local children's charities across Canada.
The Bricks tent sale is on now. With so many items to clear out, they've had to set up tents in the parking lot. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store. With new specials every day and a bonus gift with furniture purchases over $999, these offers won't last long. Save up to 50% off select mattresses, up to 25% off of bedroom and dining furniture, and the more you buy, the more you save, up to an extra $1,000 off appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Truck Month is on now at GMC, and it's one of the best times to get behind the wheel. Right now, get a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models with a 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen, an available Duramax 6.6-liter turbo diesel V8 engine with 470 horsepower, plus the most trailering assistance technologies in its class. Sierra has some serious hauling power and is the only off-road ready HD. Truck Month is on now. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Fire bans and restrictions are now in effect for parts of Alberta where wildfire danger is very high or extreme. Because of dry and windy conditions, wood-burning fires may not be permitted on public or private lands. Visit albertafirebans.ca for more information about bans or restrictions in your area. That's albertafirebans.ca. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Commissioner Allen Auctions Unreserved Retirement Dispersal Auction for Double D Bobcat service at Cold Lake, Alberta is next Thursday at 9 a.m. featuring over 650 auction lots including end dumps, lowboys, gravel pups, goosenecks, jeeps, equipment trailers, and skid structures. Info at maauctions.com.
We've been waiting for this since preseason. It's playoff time, and Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey. Kevin, Lowtide, Jason, and the pre- and post-game shows with Andrew. So many reasons why we're Edmonton's sports leader.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. The pizza makers at Papa John's are making you 2 or more items for $9.99 each from their Papa Pairings menu, like medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, cheese sticks, and more. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Whoa, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Is that Merrick's request, man? I know he's a headbanger at Art. We'll find out. Jeff Merrick is going to join us momentarily. Here we are live at On the Rocks. You know what it is for Thursday? Hey, maybe you're hungry. How about this $2 mini Rockstar burgers? No minimum or maximum. So you want one, you want 10. Sick deal at OTR to get you set for Game 2 tonight. Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. Jason Gregor alongside Connor Halley. Let's get to our playoff report brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck Month continues on now at all Alberta GMC's $5,000 cash purchase credit on any 2025 Sierra HD models. See more at gmccanada.ca as Jeff Merrick, host of The Sheet at dailyfaceoff.com, joins us. Jeff, how are you, my man? Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Glad to be aboard. I am. If it's too loud, let me know. I will sneak away to a quieter place. I'm at Capital One Arena. We saw the Washington Capitals kill off a holding penalty. We're scoreless here, about just a little more than halfway through the first period. From Capital One Arena.
Nice. Was the Sheet on the road? You guys doing live road shows now? I love it.
Yeah, they've the sports on the road. Get us out. I think my wife might have told them, like, get him out of the house.
Be there too long.
Last 3 days in Washington to see games 1 and 2, and then off to Florida for games 3 and 4 between the. Can they do this? Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers.
Now, give me your game 1 in in Washington was kind of like game 1 in Vegas. The road team dominated. What do you see as the adjustments the Capitals are going to have to make to even this series up tonight?
Patience. Like, let me preface this by this way. The Carolina Hurricanes are an acquired case, Jason. You have to really love the minutia of hockey to really appreciate a Carolina Hurricanes game. And they're they're a more fascinating team to watch the higher up you go in the arena to watch exactly how Rod Brindamore has his team playing. And it's Carolina, so it's volume shooting. You know, it's shots from all over. I think it was 73 or maybe even more shot attempts, maybe 93 shot attempts in game one to like 37 for the Washington Capitals. Like, make no mistake about it. It was a tilted rink in game one. Like, the Carolina Hurricanes, by just about any metric other than quality of shot and high danger scoring chances, this was a game that was dominated by the Carolina Hurricanes. What you're starting to see now with Washington, one, they opened up really physical, like everybody hitting anything in a white Carolina jersey. So that's one. Oh, by the way, this was a very upset Washington Capitals organization yesterday. Carberry, not thrilled. I had a chance to talk to Brian McCullen on the sheet yesterday. You could tell he was pretty sour about the effort on Tuesday night. What we saw with the Washington Capitals kind of coming out timid, and they let the Carolina Hurricanes play their game and take it to them. Right away in this one, Washington more physical and more patient. They are not forcing anything. Carolina plays man-to-man, so it's all based on hard work and communication. What it does is it opens up ice for high-danger scoring chances, and you just have to be able to be patient and not rush anything and defend where you want to defend, not where Washington wants you to defend. So a couple of real quick and easy adjustments here for the Caps. We'll see if it's a different outcome for Ovechkin and company tonight.
You mentioned the Toronto Maple Leafs and can they do it, Jeff? I think a lot of people are surprised that they're up 2-0 over Florida. Not just that they're winning, like they're full marks for those games. Like it's not like they lucked out and got a few fortuitous bounces. They controlled those games, for long stretches in both nights.
And let's be honest too, Sergei Bobrovsky has not been good.
Yeah.
Like I think that Mitch Marner goal that you saw yesterday after the Panthers tied it up, bluntly, Jason, that can't go in. I know there's a screen and I get, but no, it just can't. But there are plenty of moments like that where you're saying the Sergei Bobrovsky we saw last season makes that save, right? Maybe even the Sergei Bobrovsky we saw in the series against Tampa makes that save. First two games, in a lot of ways, outside of, the Maple Leafs going up 2-0 on the defending Stanley Cup champions, Sergei Bobrovsky has kind of been the story to me. They're not going to survive if Bobrovsky plays like this. It does look like Matthew Tkachuk is playing at very much less than 100% as well. But you got to give the Maple Leafs full marks, right? You got to give them full marks because what we haven't seen in this team is even when the games get close and Panthers tied, there's no panic. And how many times, Jason, if you watch a Maple Leafs game and you're saying to yourself, they're beating themselves here because they're panicking, they're forcing things that aren't there, and they're playing a game that is not their style. Craig Berube has this team playing a very smart, very safe, kind of straight line table hockey style game. And you see it all through the lineup from Austin Matthews down to Scott Laughton. You're seeing a really calm Leafs team that doesn't panic whatsoever.
So do you give most of that credit to the head coach, or is there got to be some veterans maybe that have helped calm this group down?
You know who's been great for this team, and this is the Kyle Dubas acquisition, Jake McCabe. I still maintain that one of the biggest challenges for the Toronto Maple Leafs was when they lost Jake Muzzin. We all know John Tavares was the captain who wore the C, but Jake Muzzin was the guy on that team. He was, the guy in the room. He was, the guy giving the talks. He was kind of, the guy that brought everything together. And when Jake Muzzin had to call it a career, it really hurt this Maple Leafs team. I don't think that we've talked about that enough. Kind of like how when Justin Byfuglien called it a day, it took Winnipeg a long time to recover. But as far as this year's edition goes, I think you're just seeing a maturity from everybody. William Nylander has sort of grown up in front of our eyes quickly here. You can even make the argument that Mitch Marner, there's a lot of how Marner in those first few seasons of the Maple Leafs, there's still a lot of junior hockey in him. Yeah. Now, he's still wildly creative and he does a lot of things you don't expect, but he doesn't look like a junior hockey player anymore. Nylander's grown up. John Tavares looks way more comfortable without the C, and he can just be a player and he's still effective. I go back to Jake McCabe though. He's, one of the more underrated players on the team. It's tough to get a headline when you're playing with Marner and Matthews and Nylander, etc. But he's been a really steadying, calming influence on the team, as has Chris Tannen, right? Like they just have like more mature, smart, calm, experienced hockey players. Like again, they may still drive this thing into the ditch, Jason. Who knows? We've seen it happen before, that they could take this thing off the road, but at least if they do, it's not going to be because they got into their own heads. They're not that team anymore. I don't know how good they can be, but they're not going to beat themselves anymore. And we saw the Maple Leafs beat themselves for a lot of years.
Jeff Merrick joins us. He's live in Washington for Game 2 tonight, Carolina and the Capitals. The Edmonton Oilers, Jeff, going to Vegas. They control the final 51 minutes of that game. It really wasn't close. The scoreboard, the first time in 20 games that Vegas had blown a third period lead at home in the postseason. Why do you like the Oilers game 5 against LA might have been their best game I've ever seen them play as this group. And then they followed it up with that game after a little bit of an unlucky start on the Stone double deflection goal. What do you make of the Oilers and the fact that, who their goaltender is? I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but when they play well, it's a lot easy for anybody to play net there.
It's a great story, right? Like a lot of us are waiting for the clock to strike midnight. Like a lot of us are waiting for him to turn into a pumpkin. And every game that goes on, you say like, okay, like he was good, right? Like Edmonton's not a team, you know this, Jason, you're right there. They're not a team that needs a great goaltender. Right? You need good goaltending if you're going to win the Stanley Cup, but you don't need Igor Shesterkin. You don't need Ilya Sorokin. Like you don't need that if you're Edmonton. I'd make the argument that of all the teams remaining in the playoffs, and maybe you might make noise around Dallas with this one, but the Oilers are the one team that can score themselves out of their problems. Like it's rare, but they can. And all of a sudden now with Corey Perry up on that top line, the return of Evander Kane, they have two lethal lines that can do a lot of damage. Can I share with you? Can we park a couple of minutes to have a couple of thoughts on two players that are really standing out here for me outside of the obvious, Draisaitl and McDavid, etc. Two guys, Vasily Podkolzin and John Klingberg. Now, if you look at Podkolzin's hits per 60, it's like 29 points. Like it's just under 30. Like every time that whole fourth line, I know it's going to be tough to talk about a fourth line when you got Leon and Connor to talk about. But, Janmark Arvidsson and Vasily Podkolzin have been really good. And you know what it's like in playoffs. You need someone that is going to be a cannonball out there.
Yeah.
And that's Podkolzin. Every time he's out there, he's smashing something. It's so important in the playoffs, as you know, to have guys like that. And while I don't think that this is 2017, 2018 John Klingberg, that career season that turned everybody's head when he's playing with Dallas, I think we're starting to see like hip resurfacing surgery is tricky to come back from, obviously. And then after he got signed, he only played a couple of games, and then there was the fornations, and then there was another lower body injury, and never really was able to get going. But John Klingberg has a confidence with him right now, like he's making plays to get out of the zone, right? And he's starting to walk the line again. Like he's not Lidstrom, but you remember Klingberg walking the line in Dallas. I love seeing it. I love seeing it. Like this is, again, not 2018 John Klingberg. I get it. Like that guy's not coming back. But it is really good to see this guy after everything that he's been through, only 14 games with the Maple Leafs last year, the hip surgery, etc. It is so good to watch this guy come back and contribute the way that Klingberg has. It's really been a delight.
I can tell you, John Klingberg in the bubble, Jeff, because I was there for the whole bubble. There's nothing else to do in life. And John Klingberg for Dallas was unbelievable in the bubble. Like his point. And the thing about Klingberg is he's fought quite a few times. Like he's got a little bite to his game. And the last few games at the offensive blue line, he's made moves around attacking fours where I'm like, what is he doing? And he's always going to give the puck away. No, he just dangles the guy. I'm like, oh my God. Like he's got a lot of confidence. His outlet passing, like him and Bouchard have two guys that can hit almost any pass on the ice now from the defensive zone.
And, how long has it been since you've seen that level of passing and that level of skill from John Klingberg?
Oh, yeah.
We haven't seen it for years.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember when the Oilers signed him, I kind of went, okay, but after anything, I don't know about you, Jason, but whenever someone has any kind of surgery involving their hips, I always give them a 1-year grace period because it is just so hard to come back from, especially at Klingberg's age. I always give them like at least a year, but then I say to myself, who recovers faster than Swedes? Yeah. Like, I don't know what it is about Swedish hockey players, but nobody recovers faster than Swedes. Daniel Alfredsson was probably the best. Oh, he's going to be gone 6 to 8. He's back in 2 weeks. Like, Swedes, for whatever reason, seem to heal up. So I don't know whether they all take trips to Lourdes to bathe in holy water and heal up quickly. And then I don't know. But anything around the hips, I always say, write them off for a year. I'm really glad that you don't have to write John Klingberg off for a year here. It looks like he's back to playing consistently good hockey.
When you look at Edmonton and Vegas, and like from where the Oilers were down 0-2, there was a lot of people, even before the series start, there was the majority of people picked LA to win the series. And then when they're up 2-0, everyone's like, ha, they're going to win. Now, how much has your opinion on the Oilers changed now that Klingberg looks like Klingberg? Because he didn't look like that in the regular season. Kane, Frederick, like, where do you rank Edmonton of these final 8 teams?
Having a conversation with someone this morning, and the question was, is this Canada's year? And as much as everyone is going crazy about the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I still don't think the Winnipeg's out of their series, if it's going to be a team from Canada, it's going to be Edmonton. And now, for the first time after Game 1 against the Vegas Golden Knights, I'm starting to get that soap and warm water feeling again about them going to the Stanley Cup final. Like, you can see it. You can see the path here. Now, Dallas gets through Winnipeg. That's a big, heavy team, and by then they'll have Miro Heiskanen back. Jason Robertson didn't look great last night, but first game back. It's going to happen. He'll get into his group. Edmonton gets past Vegas here. Like, right now, they're playing with a killer instinct, right? Like, they're playing with the chip on their shoulder. They read everything and heard everything that we were all saying, and I was one of them. I'm not excluding myself from this group that said this is different for LA this year, and it looked that way early. And, man, you want to talk about, like, where everything changed for the Oilers season. Byfield not getting the puck out instead of trying to skate it out himself. Everything for the Oilers seemed to change after that moment. For the first time, I'm saying to myself, yeah, I can see it, and Perry up on that top line opens up a really elite level second line. I already mentioned how much I love that fourth line too with the Oilers. I think now for the first time, because I still don't know what to make of the Maple Leafs. Leafs fans are going crazy right now, but I still don't know what to make of them. I think if there's going to be a chance in Canada, it's going to be with the Edmonton Oilers.
Jeff, always good to catch up with you, man. Enjoy the game. And there's no score. Obviously, I didn't hear any cheering in the background, so no score. Not a lot of shots as I'm kind of watching it here. Has there been any? I haven't seen a great chance.
Scramble in front. Logan Thompson. The Capitals clear.
Okay.
27 left shots, 8-4 favoring Carolina, doubling up the Caps.
Awesome. Jeff, great stuff, my man. Enjoy the games. Enjoy Florida. Tough place to go, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, I'll be thinking of you on the beach. I always like to take the CBA to the beach and stretch out and I'll be thinking of you, Jason Gregor. That's how exciting I am.
Oh yeah, nice. Have a good one, my man.
You be good, pal. Talk in 7 days.
There you go. That is Jeff Merrick from The Sheet joining us live in Washington. Let's take a final break. We'll come back. We got the lineup report and more on the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with all
the Oilers in the post.
Now it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets.
Daniel Alfredsson was probably the best. Oh, he's going to be gone 6 to 8
from your phone's app store.
Like,
and use
Swedes, for whatever reason, heal up. So I don't know whether they all have
the regular. As Europe, like rank Edmonton of these final 8 teams.
Francis Udall took over his dying father's business as a leatherman.
Dallas gets through Winnipeg.
His heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Udall met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in popular new art.
Tom joins us, Jeff.
They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the new world. At Ellis Island, Noodle was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Noodle.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
Are you tossing and turning at night, unable to sleep because of mounting debt? Debt can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to face it alone. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I'm here to guide you every step of the way so you can find peace of mind and finally rest easy. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book a free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
Fire bans and restrictions are now in effect for parts of Alberta where wildfire danger is very high or extreme. Because of dry and windy conditions, wood-burning fires may not be permitted on public or private lands. Visit albertafirebans.ca for more information about bans or restrictions in your area. That's albertafirebans.ca. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Well, the Capitals going to get a late power play in the first period. See what they can do with that in the final 35 seconds. So if not, they'll have a clean sheet on the PP to start. Orders, Vegas tonight, $7.50. You can come down there to OTR, $2 mini burgers. Of course, they got specials. It's Thursday, Dosaki also. While you're here, you should try the honey dill wings. Good, Connor Halley. Real good. Jasper Ave, 118th Street, your place to watch Game 2 tonight. And, of course, Game 3 Saturday. Remember, Saturday night is broadcast start time of 7, puck drop closer to around 7:15-ish on Saturday night. So what a night in the city that will be, I would think, especially if the Oilers are victorious in Game 3. Let's get to our lineup report now, brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. You're home for fun. You need a boat, you need ATV, skis, you got it all. One-stop shop. Oiler fans helping Oiler fans who like the outdoors. That's Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. The Edmonton Oilers, it's becoming rare, but it's the same lineup every game. Of course, Calvin Pickard getting his 6th consecutive start. He is 5-0 in the playoffs this season. McDavid, Draisaitl, and Perry. And we all know that Perry doesn't play every shift with those two. They rotate around Hyman and Kane, and Frederick and other guys get some shots. Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, and Kane, they scored the game-winning goal in Game 1. You've got Henrique with Brown and Frederick. Connor Brown scores another great goal. Podkolzin, Janmark, and Arvidsson. Arvidsson led the Oilers in shots on goal with 5, only played 10 minutes, but they were impactful. On defense, they rotate 5 guys, but Nurse and Bouchard, they played the most together last game. Very effective when they outshot the opposition 7-1 when they're on the ice. Nurse was 13-3. Bouchard was 12-2 overall. Played very well. Klingberg and Wallman, Kulak and Emberson. Ty Emberson not playing a ton right now, played 6:43. And anytime the Oilers are chasing the game, or if they're trailing, he doesn't play a ton because he's more of a defensive-minded guy and is on the penalty kill. He had 3 shifts in the final 40 minutes of Game 1. Meanwhile, the Vegas Golden Knights, one lineup change we expect, and that is Alex Pietrangelo did take the morning skate. Coach says he's a game-time decision. People in Vegas, they all think he's going to play. And if he does, then there's him and Haig, Hannafin and Whitecloud, Theodore and McNabb. But like the Oilers, They do rotate their defense pairs around. Aiden Hill will start in goal. Up front, they move their lines around. You saw it during some of these during the game on Tuesday. Eichel, Stone, and Barbashev is back up there. Thomas Hertel with Victor Olofsson and Brandon Saad. William Karlsson, Riley Smith, Brent Howden. I won't be surprised if that line gets a little bit of minutes against the McDavid line to try to free up Eichel. And then they have Roy with Kolazar and Pearson. And I think they're really going to hope that Roy and Kolazar can get in on the forecheck. So watch for that. Vegas likes to roll 4 lines fairly evenly. And that's the reason why they switched up Karlsson and Barbashev. And we'll see if that helps them. Vegas, I thought, as great as Edmonton played, I don't think Vegas played very well. But part of that was how Edmonton played. Edmonton was just quicker to pucks all over the ice. And if they can do that again, they will have a very good chance to get a victory. So that's the lineup report brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Got a lot of texts. I'd asked the question, like, what is your favorite Oiler playoff goal or biggest one? And, we got a lot of Peter Klimas from 1990 Stanley Cup final. Todd Marchand, overtime winner in 1997. We got a few for Bucky. Of course, remember that because the Bucky game was one where the Oilers are down 3-0. You think they're going to lose the game. It's game 3, and all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. They score 3 goals in, 2.5 minutes? Late in the final 4 minutes of the game, they tie it, and then Buckberger wins it in overtime. Lots of people had left. Back then, though, if you left the building, they allowed you back in. It's a different time. You leave the building now, you don't get back in, unfortunately. But, plus nowadays, most people would be like, you know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving because you never know. Comebacks can happen. Ask Jets fans if they would have left the building in Game 7, down 2-0 with 2 minutes to go, and they tie the game and then win it in overtime. So the Bucky Cons. Do you have a most memorable overtime goal? We talked Fernando Pisani. So obviously his Game 5 shorthanded one is up there for a lot of people. You got another one, Cons?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. That one's always going to stand out. I'll never forget where I was. The Todd Marchand goal for me was a big one as well. Like for people that I guess grew up in my era, like we just missed out on the Stanley Cups. It was a long time of kind of tough hockey. So Todd Marchand getting that goal was huge. And how about David Desharnais? The trade deadline acquisition against the Sharks. Yeah. That was a pretty big goal too. So I'll throw that one up there.
Well, that one game really for Desharnais, that made his trade deadline acquisition worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like it did. Like honestly, that you're like, okay, you know what? I don't even know what pick they gave up to get it, but you're like, hey, he helped us win a round. And that makes it totally worthwhile. There's no doubt in my mind. You'd be like, hey, we'll take that all day long. And it worked out for sure. So we got a lot of people texting Kevin McClelland. Now at the time of the goal, you didn't know it would turn out to be the 1-0 game winner. Right. But in the history books of the Oilers, it is one of the most important goals. So it's unique. It's one of the most important goals. But at the time, you didn't know they were going to win 1-0. Right. It wasn't like an overtime goal or anything. But it was still a massive goal when you consider, a team that had lost the year before. They're taking on the New York Islanders. They're in the final. It's like, God, we got to get a win. And they find a way to do it. So that's good. Now, lots of other texts coming in, 833-401-1440. Hey, boys, if the Oilers win, and yes, I'm getting ahead of myself, who do you think they have a better chance against, Winnipeg or Dallas? Well, you know what, man? I'll save that. I don't want to answer that right now because I got to see who's healthy and many other things. Hey, boys, Glenn Anderson, final minutes against Philadelphia in 1987. Oh, yeah, Steve, we talked about that one. Great goal, man. I remember it comes across the blue line, the old clapper, just about 10, 15 feet inside the blue line, and that was the insurance goal in a 3-1 game. Massive. Hey, boys, what about Horkoff? Was it triple or double OT? Ooh, I think it was triple. I think it was early in triple overtime. Right? That was obviously a huge goal against the Sharks in 2006. Hey, boys, Gretz, Vernon's shoulder. What's memorable about that was Glenn Thacer's reaction to the crowd. That was classic, right? Gives them the, hey, how you doing, guys? How you doing? Well, I know how you'll be doing. You'll be tuning into the pregame show. Coming up next, Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson will take you right up to puck drop, game 2, and then they'll have all the post-game reaction. Are the Oilers going to be up 2-0? Is it going to be a 1-1 tie? Are we going to overtime? Lots to discuss. Hope you have an awesome day. Enjoy the game. Please get home safe. And remember, it's McHappy Day. If you're thinking about some food on the way home, stop into McDonald's. You're going to help out Ronald McDonald House, a fantastic facility that needs a ton of help. And they're actually expanding because there's such a shortage and needs for more room. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. If you missed any of our guests, go to the podcast, anywhere where you get your podcasts, or the Jason Gregor Show, jasongregor.com, and you'll see all the individual interviews. Here's a con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change, no overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game day, Oilers Golden Knights meeting down in Vegas. Game 2 of their best of 7. The Oilers right now on top 1-0. Down gets going just after 7:30. Our pregame coverage with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson coming up next. After 20 minutes out in Washington, Caps and Canes are scoreless. Carolina leading that series 1-0. At about 6:30, got the Timberwolves hosting the Warriors in their West semifinal action. Golden State leading 1-0. Steph Curry will not play tonight. For the Warriors in the majors, Jays. They're getting going in about an hour and a half, taking on the Angels down in Anaheim. You've also got the Braves on top of the Reds 1-0. Phillies and Rays tied at 1 apiece in the third, and in the bottom of the 7th, the Tigers on top of the Rockies 8-1. That's game 2 of their doubleheader. In game 1, Tigers won 10-2. PWHL action playoffs, Montreal, Ottawa tied at 1 apiece after 20 minutes. And from the CFL, Edmonton Elks signing wide receiver Kyrus Jackson. Jackson joins the green and gold after 4 seasons at the University of Georgia, where he caught 78 passes for 1,107 yards, 4 touchdowns in 51 games. Also 2-time national champion. And the Carolina Panthers moving on from 3-time Pro Bowl edge rusher Jadeveon Clowney after just 1 season. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, pre-game coverage with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson. And once the game wraps up, they'll be back for post-game. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440.